Um, Good evening, Europe, and good afternoon, America. Welcome to the SVA Showcase. I'm Phantomu, you can call me Tomu, and today I'm joined by Hami.
Hello, everyone. That's right. My name is Hammy. I am joined here with Tomu here for Stronghold Beginners Academy Season 1 Showcase. We are going to be showing off a bunch of brand new Splatoon teams that have spent the last few weeks getting coached and learning how to join competitive Splatoon. Now, before each match, I believe we're also going to be getting a little bit of an interview with some of the coaches from these teams, which is very exciting. Not something that we do commonly in this scene. Looking forward to that. Now, I do believe here on the screen we have our first match up. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I believe it's Whale Shark Warriors versus the Five Wishes. Um, oh,
That's
sorry,
a
no,
mistake on stream. It's What the
yes, that
Fuzz
is that
versus
is
Trout Sandwich.
Yes, thank you, Tomo. Yes, it'll be What the Fuzz versus Trout Sandwich. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties. And again,
Yeah.
to all the viewers, apologies for the delay. I know we are a little bit late, but things like this can, there's a lot of things that can go wrong, and we are working through it, and everything is solved, so we're getting into it now. But What the Fuzz versus Trout Sandwich is going to be our first match. Now, What the Fuzz, this team is in Ludi and already got Division 6, so a brand new competitive team already with getting a lot of matches in and a good placement in Ludi, which is honestly quite impressive.
Looking at the seeds, it already looks like What the Fuzz might be taking the match, but it could just be because Trout Sandwich doesn't have many results and could be grinding scrims. So it could still be a pretty even matchup here.
Yeah, and that's one of the important things to realize, that a lot of these teams are going to be new to the competitive scene. So there's not a lot of uh, realistically, you're going to see a lot of inconsistency, but all these teams are going to be around the same skill level because they are relatively new. So don't count anyone out of this tournament. There's going to be a lot of players and a lot of teams that are going to surprise you today.
Something I really like about low-level teams is that they can make pretty much any comp work. There's no like heavy reliance on cooler. It's it does make space for like many off-meta picks work.
Definitely. That is why I love commentating low level Splatoon, because people are willing to try new things and just do fun stuff. You see a lot of dedicated one tricks who are playing these interesting weapons. They're dedicated to their craft, and they understand that weapons that might not be valued by some high level players have a lot of interesting mechanics that can bring to a team comp. So I do really hope to see some of those off meta picks and just these players not only having fun but showing that they know how to play and how to win.
I'm not sure if the players are being shown on screen, but Clashist from What the Fuzz does main Clash Blaster, and I find that to be a really interesting pick, and I find it really cool that they were able to bring it all the way up to Div 6.
Yeah, that is a huge accomplishment, definitely. I know me personally too. I'm also a off meta one trick. I one trick the reflux, and it's fun. Honestly, it's what motivates me to play the game. So yes, players like Clashist, that is a huge motivator to continue to grind. Is taking this weapon that nobody believes in and pushing it through the ranks and just proving yourself to the world. And that's what we'd like to do here as well at SBA Showcase, is show off these players who are doing new and unique things and bringing their own perspectives to the competitive scene at this lower level, trying to grind upwards.
Oh hey, fellow bow one tricker. I'm the tri-stringer one trick.
Us bow,
So
us bow one tricks will rule the world one day. Like
yeah,
you can quote me on that. We're taking over.
it's like really annoying trying to be in the comp scene as a one trick because like nobody wants to play with you a lot of the time.
Yeah, no, that can be fair. It is difficult to find people who are willing to experiment with those things. And again, going back to these lower level players, a lot of them are more willing to play with people. It's all about the vibes, and it's about these people who are dedicated to continuing to improve, and not just people who want to win and run, the traditional comps. Now, I do believe on screen we are having a couple of more technical difficulties. Apologies to the viewers, but this is season 1 of SBA Showcase, so we are trying to get things a little bit more set up. I do believe we are slowly trying to get ready with our first match now. I believe, yes, here are our maps for round 1 of the group stage. Mako Mart on Splat Zones. A little bit of a less conventional Splat Zones pick as of late, but is still run in a couple tournaments. Tomu, do you have any opinions on this map and mode?
Um, well, Mako Zones is a very common pick that I'm seeing a lot in like pretty much everywhere. I find this to be a pretty difficult map for backlines because of like how awkward the positioning is. Um, I'd like to see if anyone would be running crab on this mode.
Yeah, a crab could definitely be a very useful tool, and I see what you mean with those backlines. If you can get set up on those stacks, it can be a good position, but getting there is quite difficult, and staying there is harder. If you have a bucket player or a role player, they have a very easy option to beeline for that stack, completely remove the player, and just take that back control. So we're going to have to see how these players are going to be playing, and that's, again, going back to those weapons picks you're talking about. Some of the players, it's basically like their debut to being seen by the viewers and us, the commentators. So I'm not quite sure what kind of weapons they're going to be running. We can have some speculations based on their Sendo profiles and what we might know about the players, but this is their chance to show to the world that, hey, this is what we're running, this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to win.
I
Now,
wonder
me
if any of the teams would be running pencil. I would love to.
honestly,
I would love
sorry,
to
you
see pencilless comps.
Yeah, I too love pencilless comps, and now more than ever with that recent pen nerf we saw in the most recent patch just earlier this week. But a lot of people have still been running it. It lost the paint power, but it still has a lot of kill potential, just like most other chargers. But at that point, it does come down to, are they a charger player? A lot of pencil mains switching off to the Headit, as it is now considered the better soda weapon. NZAP still a great uh, replacement as well. But yes, I do love seeing those coolerless comps. Me personally, I don't even run cooler with my own team, so I think that it it helps you play a bit sharper at all times because you don't have that crutch of being able to revive very quickly. You have to push smarter at all times, and it gives your team another option to have another aggressive special, maybe another strike, maybe a crab. As you mentioned, having a crab here on this map mode could be very useful for these players.
Speaking of patch, oh, okay. I'll continue this point later, but we are starting off with the first match here. I really respect that red pencil pick.
Yeah, I'm looking over here on the other side with this gold dynamo pick coming up from Wahoo on the side of Trout Sandwich. Not a weapon that you see very often, especially because there's a soda variant, going for those jumps. Already 3 members down on Trout Sandwich. What the fuzz? Already getting through 4 players pushed up. There's that aggressive positioning from that pencil that we talked about earlier. Riv standing on that stack now. What the fuzz are looking to open up in a very, very dominant fashion here, blocking out Trout Sandwich.
Red Clash is also something that I really don't see a lot. If I was expecting a Clash, if we were seeing a Clash Blaster, I'd be expecting a blue one, but it definitely seems to be working out for them.
Yeah, definitely already What the Fuzz having a great stand here. Though Trout Sandwich starting to break back into it. Here comes those strikes and the soda. Getting 2 picks there. Harper walking forward, trying to paint. Riv on this pencil needs to survive as they back up, and What the Fuzz have to regroup. But the shot player getting picked off now. A lot of bombs coming in from the side of Trout Sandwich. They know how to use those sub-weapons. Now we want to see some specials online so they can just prevent the breakback in from What the Fuzz.
I think the rain on zone hit is something they absolutely could have pushed with. It doesn't seem like they will, but now that the strikes are going in, they immediately are able to take back zone and almost fully wipe out Trout Sandwich.
That's definitely what Trout Sandwich wanted to prevent, but they didn't have enough special and Achilles online now. Arson getting picked off in their own spawn as we have the players walking through now. What the Fuzz getting set up in Trout Sandwich base. They take back their lead, and now they want to hold out. Less than half of the scoreline remaining. Wahoo dropping in with the Dynamo, unable to get the pick onto Riv. Barely surviving with that pencil. Once again, they nerfed the paint, but they haven't nerfed the kill power. And now it looks like Trout Sandwich are breaking back in.
It looks like there's a bit of panic on both teams as there's quite a few players down on both sides. They are scrambling to get the zone here.
Yeah, a little bit of a scramble, but they're very close to capping. They just need a little bit more. It's just a Clash Blaster left. You have to cap. There you go. They managed to get the cap and apply the penalty to What the Fuzz. Clash just has to back out. They know that they need their teammates. A Clash Blaster is going to fight best when it has other people to do some of that heavy lifting, as they're more of a chip weapon. 2 members down on the side of Trout Sandwich. They do lose the zone. Wahoo was pushed up very far by themselves. They're trying to get some picks in the back here to allow their team to get back into mid, but out of paint, out of time, and they are down. Now, What the Fuzz up 15 members with that result.
The aggro they drew that did slow down the push, What the Fuzz's push back into mid. I wonder if they're going to be taking advantage of that.
Yeah, and with time running low, that penalty's almost out. So What the Fuzz, they just need to defend here. Only 17 ticks until they get that KO. Trout Sandwich needs something. Here comes the strikes, though a little bit too far off the side. They're not getting on the zone, but they do manage the cap with that flank from Wahoo painting the side of the zone just barely enough to apply the penalty. But with the numbers down, What the Fuzz are still in control. The minute 30 left.
Trout Sandwich has to play really efficiently here, even though they don't have much time to work with. They would have to push in with specials if they want to be able to take that zone again.
Yeah, and again, there's not a lot of time, so they do need to keep specials, but they're just getting spawn camped right now. They have the strikes ready from Arson on that bucket, but no time to use them. They have to throw them out now. Are they going to be able to? No! The KO from What the Fuzz just coming out and unable to get those specials, taking this first game on Mako Mart zones.
Trout Sandwich was able to get 2 down on What the Fuzz at the very end there, but it was unfortunate for them that they didn't have time to take advantage of that.
Yeah, and that is one of the things with Splat Zones. Time is always your enemy. It's such a quick mode. KOs are by far the most common in this mode, so you need to be able to get what you need. You need to be able to do what you need to do as quickly as possible as to not waste enough time that you may get knocked out. Now, here's a different story, though. Ink Blot Clams. That is a mode where you have a lot of time to figure out what you're going to do. Clams, a much slower mode. You're going to have the ability to kind of formulate a more coordinated push with your teammates.
Do you think anyone would go for the clam jump cheese?
It's perfectly viable. On this map, there is that higher area, as some call the bats or the bunker. Using that rail to get up there, it can be a very good spot to jump in more clams. I think what it will really come down to is which team can get the picks to allow their side to have that numbers advantage. We've seen the aggression already from What the Fuzz, being able to get into the base of Trout Sandwich and manage to stagger them. So if this is going to be a similar story, it's going to be a very difficult game for Trout Sandwich unless they can find a way to keep What the Fuzz out.
I do actually want to continue the point I was making earlier about the new patch. Like I'm kind of curious as to if any of the other teams have had their weapons or strategies changed because of that patch, since they were training under like different eight they were training under a different patch. So I wonder if any player got knocked off their favorite weapon because of it.
It's definitely a possibility, but I think it's also important to consider what the patches have changed. A lot of players do just look at it and go, oh, look, pencil nerfed. Oh, look, heavy buffed. But ultimately, it's about, the actual changes. A lot of players still playing pencil. We saw Riv on the side of What the Fuzz, still on that pencil, because it's pressure that it applies, the power and the ability to kill still stands. The only difference is its paint. But if you have a comp that can still paint well and you're patient enough to get out that paint in a relatively timely fashion, the pencil is still a very strong weapon.
I really really do respect the red pencil pick. It's very rarely seen, and I don't know. It feels a lot more interesting than the one with the cooler.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the red pencil. I think it adds a lot. Inkstorm in general, I think, is a very slept on special, but it can apply a lot of pressure to an area and allow your team. It gives your team a visible circle on the map that says we can fight here. People will take damage. People are getting. I believe it does like help heal your teammates as well. So it is a very useful tool. But now coming into our next match already, a lot of weapon changes actually here on both sides. Very
We
interesting
lost the
comps
pencil
coming out.
here. Also, Mini with the quick super jump main, which is very interesting. Do you have any idea why they'd be running that?
I'm not 100% sure. I would say probably it might just be a clams thing. They might be trying to focus on being able to jump in with clams when necessary. Arson also running the LDE. It is kind of a like support build. They're trying to be able to use everything they can to make sure that their team has the utility, the resources it needs, whether it be clams, whether it be paint. Now, already, What the Fuzz breaking in. No, actually, now Trout Sandwich are the ones that are managing to push back What the Fuzz, getting 3 members down. It's just Dr. Lion on that Octo Shot.
We did see Trap Sandwich get a very, very early wipeout at the start of the game, but it doesn't seem like they were able to take advantage of that, and now they're back to neutral.
Yeah, and this neutral game in clams can be scary. It may last a long time, and if you make one wrong step, it'll go away. Arson getting the pick on that with that hammer, but What the Fuzz are still breaking in. We've seen this entire match played inside of the spawn of Trout Sandwich. No push has transpired yet, but that map control is going to be massive with the Fuzz.
Unfortunate clam miss.
Yes, they missed, but they do get it in now. But with 3 members down, just Dr. Lion, they go down 2. That's not the push they were hoping for. Only a power clam and nothing else.
You know they've got a really, really good push going, even when they miss the clam, but still have time to pick it up and get it back in.
Yeah, it's that you know for sure in the comms. They're like, don't worry, guys, I got it. Second chances, we're fine here. Now, Trout Sandwich, they need a solution here. They have a Zipcaster, and it does come out. They have the hammer getting 2. Arson throwing it, not able to get the 3rd just quite yet, but there it goes. The triple kill for Arson. The Zip also ending from Napkins. Trout Sandwich have the numbers, but they need to get in, but an unfortunate bomb placement does trade out Hyper.
Well, it does seem like they're back to playing neutral again. What the Fuzz is currently in the lead, so Trout Sandwich will have to try and make a push here. It's not a very strong lead, but they will still have to put some time in and effort to perhaps strengthen that lead.
And if you're on the side of Trout Sandwich, it's not a lot of points to get a lead. The problem will be being able to defend after it, so you do want to get a large lead. Still very much anyone's game. At the very least, we won't get the coveted 7-minute overtime from Clam Blitz because we do have points on the board. 2 minutes left, and there's just a skirmish in mid. This is kind of what we expected to see from a map mode like Inkblot Clams. It's very slow compared to what we've been seeing in Splatoon.
I also do find the mini pick is definitely because of that new patch, because it is very much broken now. Well, broken might not be the right word. Yeah, What the Fuzz or Trout Sandwich was it? No, it was What the Fuzz is able to get another power clam in, but was unable to follow up with like smaller clams.
Yeah, indeed. So now What the Fuzz do have a couple more points on the board, which is what they wanted, but still not a lot, only down to 70. But with this aggression we've seen from them, Trout Sandwich don't have an opportunity to make a push as of yet. They need to get those picks, they need to coordinate their specials, because as it stands, What the Fuzz are just going to slowly stall them out with a minute left in the match.
They get themselves another power clam in. Napkins was that almost forced to do a solo defense. They were able to stall out What the Fuzz just enough though, and that is a wipeout.
There's the wipeout. That's what you need if you're a fan of Trout Sandwich, but with only 35 seconds left, they have to get some map control and get some clam economy. They lose the power clam as Wahoo goes down. Arson is looking to go pick up that power clam potentially here on this right side, but Dr. Lion is defending it. Napkins also going down on that Octo Rush. Arson coming in, trying to get the hammer, get the one. Can they get any more picks? No. What the Fuzz scatter and manage to work together to tame the beast. Only 10 seconds left in this match. Trout Sandwich, they have all 4 members alive, but they need a power clam or else they're not. Actually, they do have the pity clam, so overtime will begin, but they need to score now.
They seem to be really panicking here, and the Zipcaster is able to draw a bunch of aggro, but no one is able to follow up on that, and Hyper Beam does get the pick on the roller.
And
That's
the power
game.
clam. Yep, the power clam despawns. No members of Trout Sandwich available to pick it up. What the Fuzz able to stall out and take another match 2-0 over Trout Sandwich.
It's good to see that they actually fixed Hammer, because we did see that the hammer was not shot through from the front this time.
Yeah, it's nice because as much as people say it's a buff, part of it is just fixing it. You know, you want the weapons to work properly in your video game. Now, this group stage is best of 3, so we will not be seeing that third match Museum on Rainmaker, as What the Fuzz has won the set 2-0 over Trout Sandwich. Now, this is just the first round of groups. We will be seeing 2 more rounds here on stream, but we're going to be going to a quick break as our teams are getting ready for the next round. We'll see you all very, very soon. Don't go anywhere.
Goodbye. Chat, we are so back. I got my silly permissions. Anyways, um, we are moving on to round two, and we have Merry Musketeers versus Dead Rat Radio.
Yes, that is our next matchup. Once again, sorry to everyone for a lot of the technical difficulties. Some things are still getting figured out, but that's how these streams go. There's a lot of growing pains as we're here in the first season of SBA. Now, Tomu, a little bit of background for the people watching. You were very excited for this match to be streamed. Why is that?
Because Merry Musketeers, my beloved, and I have many friends from both of these teams, and I think it would be really cool to see them, go against each other.
Awesome. And that is one of the most fun times to watch Splatoon is when it's your friends playing because you
Yeah.
can cheer them on, but then also like make fun of them whenever they make any mistakes. That's always a good part. I have started collecting times when friends of mine will fall off of the map and fall in the water during tournament streams, and just save those for a rainy day whenever I need to knock them down a peg. So yes, these teams
Mhm.
are going to be playing for us next. I do believe we will be getting into some interviews with the coaches of these teams relatively soon. So just before we get on to that, I wanted to bring up some the rosters so I see them. There we go. Yes, our first interview. Actually, Fantomu, I believe, are you the first interview?
Apparently so. Should I be asking myself questions?
You know what? No, I'll ask you the question. Yes, so Fantomu, you are the coach for Merry Musketeers, is that correct?
Team manager.
Team manager. Okay, perfect. So, yeah, I guess I will ask you some questions to so you don't have to ask yourself. So,
It
can
would
you
have been
tell
really
us
funny though.
now? Can you tell myself and the chat a little bit about the team?
Um, so these people used to be pretty antisocial. Well, no, that is not the right word. They were really shy with each other, but as the weeks went on, they became really close friends, and that was really nice to see. We have Citrus, who's really really good at their weapon, and they and Baha are the primary slayers of the team, and they play very well with Taklu and Tai, which are the more supportive players.
Okay, that's good to know. It's nice to see that they're able to coordinate and they've kind of come out of their shells and are able to start working together to play the game. Now, do you know? Are there any rivalries with other teams? Do Merry Musketeers have they been interacting with some of the other SBA teams and have any beef with anyone?
I wouldn't say beef. These are really nice people, I'd say. um,
You can have beef for fun. It's always it's
Friendly
nice
beef,
to
I
egg each
guess.
exactly. You egg each other on. Motivate each other to try to win and improve. That's it's we see we like nice players. I like when people can play
I,
together
I
and
guess
fight.
they
And
did like they might have had something going on with God's Greatest Gamblers,
God's
but
greatest gambler.
I wasn't present for that. Um, I've only heard about it. They definitely also have connections with Dead Rat Radio.
Okay, gotcha. So is there anything specific we should be watching out for in this match? Any specific plays or combinations that we want to see here?
Um, S Blast. Next question.
S blast. All right, chat. Get ready to watch Citrus on that S blast cause some damage. How do you think your team is gonna do?
They're gonna have fun. I don't know about if they're gonna win, but they're going to have fun, and that's the important bit.
Alrighty, and lastly, where did Merry Musketeers come from? Is there any reference there for that team name?
I think it was me being very obnoxious with cat jokes.
I love it. All right. Well, thank you, Tomu, for introducing the Merry Musketeers to the chat. Now, I believe we're going to have a representative coming in from Dead Rat Radio. I believe Alphine is going to be
Yeah,
the
welcome
one coming in for that.
Alphine.
Yes, hello, hello. It is me.
Should I do the interviews this time?
Yeah, go ahead. Ask some questions.
So, same questions. So, would you like to tell us a little bit about the team?
Uh, I don't even know where to begin, honestly. Really, they're all just a bunch of goobers. They're very fun to get around along with. They're very social. They have been the main people who spawned most of the in jokes during the season of the SBA for sure. You could be looking at the SBA server and they would just be in there VC all at all times. You never know what they're up to.
Like me abducting at least one person from that every week for a pickup. But
Yeah.
yeah, are there any rivalries with the other teams they have?
Uh a little bit. I can't think of any specific names off the top of my head, but I know they have a friendly dynamic with most people they run into. It's very trying to think of right words to praise this.
Um,
They get along with most people, and there's a lot of little friendly rivalries here and there. Nothing like specific.
it's very much nice to know that they have friends and that they're interacting with people outside their team. Are there any strategies that we should be looking out for?
Look out for Hydra Gaming. That's all I'm gonna say on that.
Hydra versus S Blast. How well do you think they'll do in the set?
Uh, I say it's about 50-50. Like, I don't want to overvalue it, but I think they've done really well. They have really good mental. I know for a fact, even if they lose a set, they're still gonna have a good time, and that's really what matters the most. You know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always important that they have fun with it. Probably the most important bit. How did the team come up with their name?
Uh, I I'm gonna be for real. I wasn't around for it. The most I remember is that they made a lot of jokes about rats the first week when I was getting their interview set up, and
Oh,
that just kind of snowballed into that being their theming for the entire duration. And
okay.
Dead Rat Radio is a play on Jet Set Radio, I believe. Jet Set.
Oh, I love that game. Jet Set
Oh
Radio,
yeah,
great game. Dead
I
Rat
definitely
Radio,
recall that.
I'm sure Dead Rat Radio will also be a great team in turn. Now we are going to be getting into our match. Thank you, Alphine, for joining us. Appreciate getting a little bit of insight into the team. Now, looking into this match, Robo Ramen Splat Zones is going to be where we're going to see Merry Musketeers and Dead Rat Radio duking it out.
I remember seeing Stellium being able to play Incline, so I'm kind of expecting them to play that on this mode.
Incline Stringer definitely can be a strong pick. This is a map that does benefit a lot of backliners as well as rollers and blasters, so that S-Blast also could be very dangerous. But that Hydra that Alphine mentioned could come into play here, giving a lot of range and utility to the roster of Dead Rat Radio.
So it's either gonna be Incline or Hydra. Both are gonna be really strong on this map.
All right. Now, what else do we think they're going to be running here? Again, honestly, you have the perfect insight, Tomu, as the
I
team manager
do.
for Merry Musketeers. I'm just kind of in the background thinking, like, what could they possibly run? But yeah, you
Hmm.
have all the gossip on them as to what
I
they might
know
want to
both
be
of
playing.
these teams a bit too well.
Now we are going to be, I believe, unfortunately, we a little bit of fun inside information for everyone watching. We're going to have to reset the match as the streamer got drafted into one of the teams, and I don't think are up to the challenge of duking it out with these teams. Now, Robo Ramen Splat Zones can be a very interesting map because once again, I mentioned there's a lot of interesting classes that have a bit of an advantage. Again, those sloshers, those rollers. A lot of specials can have a lot of impact here too. Reef Slider is disgusting on this map mode
Oh,
combo. So
absolutely.
interesting to see if any teams are going to be bringing out like a Dread Ringer, maybe a Dually, a Tetra, a Reflux. I would love to see a Reflux Deco here personally, but that's just me pushing my own agenda. Now,
That's
overall,
the one
yeah,
with Slider.
Robo.
Slider, yeah.
Yeah, it does have Reef Slider as well as Splash Wall. It can be a very great combo for Robo Ramen. But yeah, I honestly like this is a very common map and mode as of the last few months in the competitive scene. So even though both these teams are relatively new, I feel like they have hopefully received enough experience on them to kind of know how they want to start playing these matches.
I wonder if I do wonder if any of their strategies have changed since it's been a while since I've seen both teams play.
Yeah, that can definitely be it. And in these few weeks that the SBA teams have been playing, there's a lot of time to develop, and especially when you're new, you're receiving so much new information, you're learning so many things that there's going to be definitely a rapid change and rapid growth. So yeah, these teams could surprise you. That's what I'm hoping for. I hope that you come into this match thinking you know what's going to happen, and then both these teams just blow you away and show us what they're able to do, and we will hopefully be able to see what they're going to show us very, very soon as they are just finishing up the weapon selects, getting ready for the match.
I do definitely recall a strategy that one of them had, which was mostly based on spamming sliders and splashdowns to cap zone. And that's not something I see very often, and I wonder if they're going to be running that again.
Definitely could be, as we mentioned, sliders very good here. Splashdowns can also be good, especially a lot of these splashdown weapons work very well on this map. Dualies, the blaster, and the Nautilus as well can be very great picks for Robo Ramen, so I wouldn't be surprised to see any of those popping up.
I haven't seen Nautilus been played very frequently in low level. How do you feel about that?
The weapon in general, or how it's in low level or not?
Like low level bit.
I think, I don't know, it's one of those things where maybe a lot of low-level players like to pick out some of these more interesting picks. And speaking of interesting picks, there comes in those Tetras I brought up earlier, though a fairly not too uncommon comp for the side of, I believe that is Dead Rat Radio in the orange there with the Octoshot Hydra Splash and Carbon combo.
It definitely seems like Merry Meowsketeers outrange most of Dead Rat Radio. The carbon there going in for a shock, seeing if they could ambush everyone. S-Blast gets taken out immediately, and they're able to get a strong lead here.
Yeah, already taking control of the map. Definitely what we want to see in zones. Surprisingly, Parasite on the Hydra kind of pushed back. Usually you want to see them moving up a little bit and getting them more of an anchor position. Though we have Bahir on the side of the slider. Gets two with it. I thought the geometry was going to block them there, and then go up into the zone to the flat area. But no, coming in here, trying to get a third pick, but the blocks in the pillow keeping them away. But Merry Meowsketeers are now in control.
In the first minute of the match, we saw Dead Rat Radio in the Meowsketeer spawn, and now it's turned around really quickly.
That can definitely happen a lot in zones. It can be a very volatile mode, flipping back and forth. The Booyah coming in, but the strikes as well in the same position. Baja going down, and 3 members on each side alive. But Dead Rat Radio in control, trying to get Stellium with this Carbon Roller up and in position. Sharking and playing the long game here, trying to sneak in and gets Taku. Unable to get the second, but they're still looking around, playing just like a Carbon does.
They are sharking quite a lot. But it looks like Merry Meowsketeers will be able to flip the zone here, and Stellium is pretty trapped in blue ink.
Taku trying to be the backbone of this team, but does frequently get pushed out by Stellium. There's the Zuka, doesn't manage to get the pick, just able to dodge in time. I do believe one more Zuka shot is active. No, it actually did time out now. Trying to fight that 1v1 down in the bottom left, but this stall out is in favor of Dead Rat Radio as they're counting down 40 ticks already towards a KO. 2 members of Merry Meowsketeers down, and they need specials and they need to get ready because they get 1 attempt here at a good push.
The longer they take, the more specials Dead Rat Radio is going to be able to get to keep them in their spawn as well. So they have to be really hasty with that comeback. We see the strikes going out, and they are able to flip the zone again.
There is those last second coordinated specials managing to get the zone. There's that re-slider getting to Baja, going through a third, trying to get the crowd, but no, they roll. Can they get the pick? No, just barely surviving and jumping out. The Merry Musketeers are now in control of the map. This is what they wanted. They got everything that they needed to get to stay in this game. Getting one pick, almost getting two sisters on that blaster. We told to keep an eye out on. Now they have Dead Red Radio have ready. They have a possibility. No, six sisters shutting down, maybe continuing to just get those picks on that blaster. Merry Musketeers counting down. This could be the flip.
They're at radio do have all that special, and they will probably be able to capture in here, but it's just the Charger and the T-Tech, but the T-Tech is able to get the pick here and hold the zone on their own.
Unfortunately, it was a 1v1 scenario. I don't think that they understood that Meow Meow on that octo shot was right around the corner. Taklu unable to read the positioning of their opponent, not able to get the lead, but there's still a minute and 15 seconds left. We've seen Merry Musketeers have a good lockout, so there is more possibilities. The slider and Booyah combo that we've seen already, Stellium going down to that is the most important person to pick off first, is that Carbon Roller. Now you want to push out that Hydra.
We have seen that Merry Musketeers are very much capable of making a comeback, as they have already taken off quite a lot of points. But the timer is ticking down, and we're almost at the end of the match. We might not be ending with a KO.
Yeah, and one thing we're seeing consistently right here is on the side of Merry Musketeers is we're losing Baja and Citrus on the Tetris and the Blaster respectively. We need them to survive a little bit longer because we cannot leave the Zap and the ZF Scope Charger by themselves. They do need some of that frontline pressure to survive. Baja getting a trade with that slider, 20 seconds left. And Merry Musketeers do have control of the zone, but just barely. They need to find a strong footing because they're going to need to make an overtime here.
They are able to hold zone again, but all four members on both sides are up. Two go down from Merry Musketeers. Things aren't looking too great for them. Strikes go out, but it does look like Dead Rat Radio is going to be paint over this, and they take game one.
Yes, they do manage to take that first game that Booyah unable to save them from Merry Musketeers. A very close match, though. Both teams able to flip that zone back and forth and have strong holdouts. Dead Rat Radio did have the upper hand and get that lead, and when you have that lead in zones, all you have to do is flip that zone once. You don't need to worry about a strong defense as long as you have a good combination to just paint over that zone in overtime.
For round 2, we have TC on Manta. It's not a mode that I see people are very confident on.
Yeah, this is definitely a not very popular combination. Me personally, not a huge fan. It can snowball very quickly, and there's a lot of the positions on this map are kind of weapon specific. There are those weapons that will excel greatly. I know specifically Splatlings can have a lot of good opportunities here. So Parasite on that Hydra on the side of DRR is going to probably have a field day for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Taklu's probably gonna be on the Charger again, and I know Splatlings really don't like fighting against Chargers, so I wonder how this will go.
Yeah, and it could go either way. We saw how close that game one ended up. So either team could take the cake here, as tower control is a very different mode from zones. You're going from a stationary objective in the middle of the map to an objective that's going to move towards the opposing side. So with a roster like Merry Musketeers, where they have Baja and Citrus on those aggro weapons, they're going to get back a lot quicker the further DRR push that tower.
I do find it really interesting how Dead Rat Radio did not run a cooler in the previous match. Unless
Yeah,
they
that's
did, and I don't remember.
running coolerless can always be a useful tool for sure. Now, yes, I don't believe they did run a cooler. I'm trying to remember what weapons they ran in my head. But
I
yeah,
remember
no.
seeing strikes a lot.
Yeah, and that's exactly what zones can be. You have the booyah, you have the strikes, you have these resources to get back the zone. If you're confident enough in your team's ability to live and push without soda, it gives you another slot in your comp to have another take back special.
Um, Speaking of strikes, if both teams are gonna run a bunch of them again, we're probably gonna be seeing a lot of them being thrown on tower.
Yes, that is the name of the game. You need to get rid of the players in the tower, and strikes are made just for that. A lot of the time, players will just even call them GG strikes when you're closer to the end of the match because, you throw them, there's nothing the opposing team can do but pick you off. Now, looking
We
at both
have
of the...
Parasite on Lita, which I find really interesting.
Yeah, an interesting switch off of the Hydra, which again, those Splatlings can have a good time on this map, but Chargers also no stranger to Monta Maria. Already, Dead Rat Radio pushing it pretty far. Parasite going down to Citrus. Actually, both teams skirmishing in the middle. Meow Meow with those strikes ready. No opportunity to really use them so far as their team does have control. But getting to this first checkpoint, they're gonna have those strikes to come in. There they are, striking through the street and the bunker, keeping Merry Musketeers out, and that's looking like first checkpoint for DRR in 45 seconds.
That was a really, really quick opening. They do have control of the bunker, and it looks like Merry Musketeers are able to get them off tower temporarily.
Yeah, that's the first step, is get the players away from the tower, but the crab popping out, immediate bomb from Baby, managing to get the pick onto Citrus. DRR still in control of the middle of the map. And here comes those strikes a little bit early, as there's not really any members of Merry Musketeers in the zone area. Citrus by themselves on the stage, getting flanked by Stellium. They go down, Baja trying to clean up, and they manage to salvage that interaction. Yamo dropping into Baja, getting the double.
Now they'll be able to start their push, and they will need to clear the street and take that bunker if they want to go any further. The slider there was really effective, but the crab might be able to stop that push.
A very well-placed crab from Baby is able to stop the push, but the checkpoint was broken. That does give Merry Musketeers a better opportunity later in the match when they make their push. Citrus swing that Booyah out to try to clear out the middle of the map, able to pick off Baby on that splash. Trying to get rid of Meow Meow. There they go. The double kill from Citrus. Stellium here as well. Can they get the triple? They do in terms of an assist. Now, Merry Musketeers on a push to the second checkpoint. Baby trying to set up, maybe get a crab. And also here comes Parasite, but going down to the strikes. Here comes checkpoint 2.
They did not see Baja going for the off angle there, and they do go down to it. Dead Rat Radio is staggering quite a lot, and it looks like Merry Musketeers might be able to get a KO here.
But before that KO, they will have to get through the third checkpoint, counting down. Here comes all members of Dead Rat Radio trying to push through, but the GG strikes from Merry Musketeers seals the deal. They get a KO in a relatively convincing fashion, only just barely giving up one checkpoint and just going straight through.
This looks like it could have been a zones match, because it went really quickly.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, it did flip the expectations. The zones match lasted a while, and the tower was pretty quick.
Yeah. Dead Rat Radio definitely looked like they were really panicking at the end, which probably caused the snowball to happen.
Yeah, and that's what causes it sometimes too. Is it's that composure. One of the big killers for a lot of lower level teams is just that ability to stay focused, to stay locked in, and not let your opponent get to your head. Now, the set is 1-1, so we will be going to game 3, Scorch Gorge Clam Blitz. This one can be pretty scary.
I wonder if they will be going for the same comp here. What do you think Parasite's gonna be running?
That is a good question. Paris, honestly, I think Chargers can have a lot of leverage on Scorch Gorge. You know, Pencil is a very common pick here for Scorch Clams. Obviously, I'm not sure if Parasite plays Pencil, but they have brought out the leader. Hydra can also work as well. Honestly, like I think any backline here is fine as long as you're able to position yourself on the top mid podium there and just apply pressure. What I'm more curious about is Slider is a fairly common special here on this map mode. So we will likely be seeing that Slider again from Baja on the side of Merry Musketeers. But I'm wondering what Dead Rat Radio are going to bring to break into the basket.
Let's find out in the next episode of not Dragon Ball Z SBA Showcase. Yeah.
And we'll find out exactly right now, as no, they do keep the same comp, but there's the pencil I talked about. I guess they do indeed play the pencil. Now, I believe Merry Musketeers keeping the exact same comp as last game. The only change on either side, really, is just that pencil from Parasite.
We're not really seeing a slider in Dead Rat Radio as well.
Yeah, I mean, and that's to be expected. They are keeping the same weapons overall, just switching at the backliner, opting to now have the soda. We did talk about how they didn't play soda the first 2 rounds, but finally bringing that in now. Teammates already carrying it, ready to get some picks. Baja going down. Dead Rat Radio are in partial control of this map, and now we have Pi on that NZAP trying to push up with Baja coming in from the flank. But by themselves, they might not last very long, and no, going down to a bomb from Meow Meow.
Both teams are still kind of in neutral right now. It kind of just depends on who gets their specials up faster. Dead Rat Radio is able to get 3 down on Merry Musketeers, and it's just Taku left to solo defense.
Yeah, and as you say, they need the specials. That's the name of the game. And most times in Splatoon, and especially here, is getting those specials to push out your opponent, maybe get a couple of picks to give yourselves a number advantage. DRR now losing those numbers, but with that Zuka will actually even out the playing field. Stellium by themselves a little bit too aggressive and does get picked off. Citrus now is playing aggressive on the other side, trying to see if that they can get some picks, but nobody going down quite yet. The rest of Merry Musketeers coming in for the support now, but they break the basket, 2 down, but it is no with that pick, just Taku left alive. That is going to be the end of the push.
That was a really, really aggressive push there, and I find it really interesting how they were able to make that work, because all 4 players were up.
Yeah, it was surprising they're able to get it. Citrus did get a sneaky pick and they managed to run the ball through, but that's not the coordinated push you were looking for. You want to get a lot of points at once, because all you've done now is given the other team a power clam. Unfortunately, oh no, everyone's DCing. We've lost Taku, we've lost Tai, and now we've also lost Meow Meow on the other side and DRR. Both players on both sides still kind of playing it out. I don't think they really care at this point. They say, nah, we don't need support. We're frontliners. Who cares? Both L players, I believe Stellium, they're also DCing. I think they're just standing still. This is a quick reminder that Nintendo is a lovely company.
Everything that can go wrong will go wrong. Colon 3.
And that's one of those things too, is, you know, we have some tech issues on our own side, but, you know, the game isn't perfect either. That's just how things go here. I'm surprised they're playing it out, honestly. In my opinion, it would have been a replay, but that will be up to the TOs and the players to decide how they want to run it. But Citrus and Baja still playing this through with no support. Stellium jumping in, trying to get a pick on Citrus, just fighting 1v1s, managing to trade each other out. I think at this point, this is just for the glory of winning little 1v1 fights here and seeing if you can take it back. I'm sure DRR definitely want to score, as Merry Musketeers still have the lead.
They are able to replay if they wanted to, but you know, if they win this, it's definitely a bragging right.
Yeah, and that's honestly, that is, I used to play Frontline, that is the life. It's like, I want to get as many clips as possible. I want to get the bragging rights of saying, I won this, I won those fights. They can claim they won a 2v3, easy. Now, Stellium again getting picked off, running forward. The crab from Baby, but doesn't see Bob coming in from under the slider, able to break the crab, but no, they didn't get the pick, and they also didn't get to pick off that jump. That could have been a huge play from Baja, but just barely missing that timing.
Baby is... Oh, they're gonna be able to get a score in. Oh, that is really, really unfortunate on Mary Meowsketeers.
Yeah, that's what DRR is waiting for. They're getting that wipe out, getting on both those power claims. Now throwing in 5 more clams after that as well to solidify that lead. Only 30 seconds left. 2 members of Dead Rat Radio are down. Baja and Citrus are trying to get back into mid, but with just an S-Blast and a Tetra, you don't have a lot of pain. Baja, I think, has given up and is just standing still and accepted that this match is very stuffed. Citrus fighting their little heart out, throwing out that Booyah. 5 seconds left. One of them needs to grab a power clam. I don't think they're trying to win here anymore. I think they're just trying to get some kills as overtime begins.
They're just having fun. You know, I'd like to believe both teams are just having fun. Baja is...
Yeah. That's the important thing for Splatoon players to remember. This is still a video game. We're trying to have fun. As much as we are trying to win and be competitive, if it's not fun, what's the point?
Hey, it was funny.
Oh, it's definitely
Yippee.
funny. I think that's the fact that they kept playing that. I'm like, all right, let's roll with it. Let's keep going here. As yes, I do. The score did update, so I guess that counts. I guess the players have decided, no, screw it. That is how this set is going to end, unless a TO slaps me in the back of the head and tells me no, I'm wrong. I guess Dead Rat Radio takes that set 2-1 over Merry Meowsketeers.
Honestly, a really interesting way to put an end to this.
And that is Splatoon in a nutshell. You never know how things are going to play out, how things are going to run. There's always something new coming up and just, taking you by surprise. And that is definitely one of the ways they can do it, by everyone DCing, and we have to put our hands up in the air and we just roll with it. And that is the game that we know and love.
Oh, it seemed like they didn't know they were able to replay it.
Yeah, and that is one of the unfortunate parts with this being a tournament for brand new players to the competitive scene, is they may not be acquainted with common rule sets and understandings that like some more experienced players have in how matches will end. I know for me, like most orgs that run tournaments will have certain rules for these things, but these players, not having played those tournaments, don't really know if they're allowed to end these matches or not. So very understandable. It happens, but honestly, this is a very important learning experience for both teams, and that is the point of SBA, is to teach these teams and these players how the competitive scene works and how to get into this community.
One of the best ways to learn is to actually screw up, and I think that was a pretty valuable experience.
Definitely. Now, again, congratulations to Dead Rat Radio for taking that set. Merry Musketeers, definitely not the way they wanted that to end, but sometimes it is what it is. And with that being said, we are going to go to yet another break. We're going to be back very soon with Group 3 of SBA Season 1. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back very soon.
Goodbye. Me and Hammy make our epic return. Yippee! Now we are on to round 3, 21 Jellies versus Hammerhead Sharks, and these two teams will be fighting for top cut. So this match is gonna be pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's right. Both these teams have gone 1-1 overall so far in the group stage, which realistically, yes, will make one of them go to our senior bracket and one of them go into the sophomore bracket. Hammerhead Sharks has won 2-0 over Merry Musketeers and have lost 2-0 over to What the Fuzz, who both of those teams we've seen on stream earlier today. So we've kind of seen both of the skill of both of those teams. And 21 Jellies have managed to win, if I can find it on the bracket, because I am blind apparently. Excuse me. Yeah, so they lost 2-0 to Flying Daggers, and then also have won 2-1 over CeeLo Q. Now, both of these teams are going to be in this match fighting it out. I do believe we are going to have an interview ready to go for one of these teams. It'll be 21 Jellies. But we're not quite ready for that as we're getting set up. So first, let's talk about this first match until we're ready to go in the interview, which will be, I believe, Splat Zones on Sturgeon Shipyard. I'm waiting for a confirmation on that as we are fixing up some things in the background.
Oh, it would be really interesting if that was in fact the map, because it's not something I've ever seen, and I would like to see teams play that map.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those maps that's interesting because the zone is kind of covered. You know, you have those two glass walls on each side of the zone that can kind of block it out. You
Okay,
also
hold on. I
have
was
those
thinking
ramps
about
that go over.
Stud.
You think it was yeah, ship shape.
Yeah. No,
The,
it's ship shape.
I confuse both of them too. They're both ship related maps. They have like it's the alliteration, it's the S's. But yes, ship shape zones. It's a very covered up zone. It does reduce the effectiveness of some of those specials that can be good in zones sometimes, and it gives players in a very aggressive way to break into the other side, being able to jump across the ramp on the top, getting over the team, or dropping off in the grates on the side and getting a flank into the court.
The bridge at the top, like on top of the zone, is a really interesting anchor position because they can't exactly defend zone from up there. So I think it's only a position they'd want to take when they're like in control.
Yes. Now, before we get too deep into talking about the map and mode that we're going into, we are now going to go to a quick interview with a representative from 21 Jellies. We're going to be talking to Yoshido.
Hello? I don't know if you guys can hear me. Hello? All right.
Hello.
We can hear you. Hopefully, the lovely people in chat can.
Hopefully,
Now,
yeah.
Yoshido, can you introduce yourself and your relation to the team, and then also give us a brief rundown of 21 Jellies?
All right. Hello, my name is Yoshido. I am the team manager for 21 Jellies. They consist of like just a bunch of players that are kind of just chill around, trying to learn and get into competitive, and a lot of goofballs, I'll say. But yeah, they're my goofballs. they're cool, pretty much.
All right, now, yeah, Phantom, take it away.
Yeah, it's I like how we are appreciating these people for who they are. The silly ones, the goobers.
Oh yeah.
Did they have any rivalries with other teams?
Not necessarily. They've scrimmed against multiple people over and over again. Wouldn't say they started a rivalry, but we could probably call it a soft rivalry.
See, that's the perfect medium. Is it's not a proper rivalry, like you're not enemies, but like you gotta go back and forth and banter a little bit with the other teams, and kind of get some stuff going to motivate each other to play.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, with this roster that we see on screen here, we do see 5 players, a large variance of weapons. So, Yoshi, are there any things to look out for with this team?
Oh yeah, definitely. We got my two front lines, Bo and Crust Aiden, who are really strong like wipe players and dually players. You might see bow action on shot actually, but they're pretty strong at getting in, getting some kills, and making plays. While we have our backline Lep for backline slash midline Lep, who's on Blaster or Wellstring, which I think you guys should keep an eye out, especially on Rainmaker maps. It's gonna be quite a treat.
I do see that Crustaden and Pokario both play decaf. Have they ever tried playing a double decaf comp?
I don't think they have yet. I don't think we coached them necessarily to play double decaf yet, as it's teaching the
Okay.
fundamentals.
Would have been pretty funny
It
to
would have
see.
been pretty funny. Yes, I do agree.
How well do you think your team's gonna do?
Honestly, I think they're gonna do great. From recent results from FTIU and other things, they improved quite a bit from a bronze bracket team to a gold bracket team, and I think they have quite a good chance of getting in here. Honestly, I hope that they're really gonna prove me wrong and win the set to get into top cut here.
And now the name 21 Jellies is very specific. Is that like a 21 Pilots thing? Is this like 21 Guns Green Day, or is this something else altogether?
It is. Yes, you're right. So teams are allocated numbers before given team names, right? And we were the 21st team. And we said, okay, let's go something that references the number 21, which we came up with either gambling because we all have gambling addiction. I know Twitch chat, they love gamble, and also just as like a reference to I think it's the band itself. I forgot what the name of it, but it's something 21 related. Also 21
Probably
Jump Street.
21 Pilot.
Also 21 Jump Street.
Oh, 21 Jump Street. That's another one I didn't think of. Yeah, a lot of things that are just named 21 something.
Yeah, right?
That's
It's
very
That's
very
really
specific.
specific.
Oh yeah.
Well, and we will be seeing 21 Jellies in this next match once again, going against Hammerhead Sharks. So thank you, Yoshi, for talking about the team. We are going to be getting now into the match once again. Zones, shipshape.
I'd like to believe that Yoshi is the secret 20-second jelly.
Well, who are the other 17, 16 jellies? We saw 5 members on that roster. Where's the other 16 of them? Is this a large conglomerate that are going to pop in?
I'd like to believe that they've played 16 scrims, and for every scrim they find a new sub.
If they win a match, they steal a member from the other team and add it to their own roster.
I like that thought. I'd like
It's-
to believe that's canon.
Now, getting into this match, hopefully for Hammerhead Sharks, they will not be losing a member to 21 Jellies, but both rosters do have 5 members, which does give them a little bit of wiggle room as they're picking their comps and going into this match. Because as we discussed before the interview, shipshape zones, as much as it is a pretty good zones map, it is a unique one in the way that the geometry is structured.
I wonder if we're gonna be seeing any sliders for this map mode.
Honestly, we could. Slider can be pretty strong here going through that zone and being able to clear it out. Again, those glass walls, it's hard to get out of the zone and you're in there. If somebody slides, you're basically pinned in a corner, so it could be a very strong pick. But ultimately, it is up to these players to have that in their weapon pool. Now, yeah, honestly, a lot of things do work here. There's not a lot of things that don't have strength. Even things that would get blocked up by the zone, like a crab. When you're in control, they're great for defense because you can set up on the top mid and shoot out towards the opposing team's court and plat.
I do find it a little unfortunate that we don't have anyone to interview for Hammerhead Sharks, because I'd love to be able to hear more about their strategy.
Yeah, that is definitely unfortunate. It's a nice thing. Just in general, it's a great thing we get to hear from some of these team managers and coaches in general, just to get some insight. But I think we will hopefully be able to learn a lot about Hammerhead Sharks from their play style. Hopefully we go to a game 3 just so we can see as much from them as possible before we go into the bracket stage of the tournament. But yes, we are getting ready into this match. I believe both teams are readying up their weapon picks. and we will be getting into this match very, very momentarily.
On our way to ship-shaped cargo zones.
Let's see how these teams want to run this match as we zoom out very far away from the match. Hopefully we are not going to get DC'd. Crossing our fingers. Yes, we're loading in. There's the fade to white. Here are coming both of our teams. An ink brush and
That's
a slide. There's a lot of weapons to break down here. There are a lot of fun weapons on both sides here. 21 Jellies bringing in the vanilla tent, the one with vacuum too, and the dread, and the hammer ink brush, and Hammerhead Sharks with a rapid blaster wiper, a dread ringer of their own, and a head it. So very unique comps here, and I'm waiting to see how they kind of
the wrong way around.
Oh yes, excuse me, sorry. Yes, the team colors were flipped. Thank you, production, for swapping those over. My mistake.
I do find it really interesting how 21 Jellies is running almost exclusively mid lanes. Wiper could be is the only super aggro weapon here, and they do die before they were able to pop hammer.
Yeah, both teams do have fairly supportive comps. None of those traditional frontliners. Even weapons like ink brushes, well, they are very fast and strong weapons at flanks. They're not a traditional frontline in terms of how they can fight. Both teams using those sliders from their Dreadringers to just flip the zone back and forth, get a lot of picks. But right now, 21 Jellies are in control and counting down, but here comes the Tent Umbrella, and here comes the rest of the team pushing forward in a sweeping motion, trying to get 21 Jellies away from the zone.
It doesn't look like they're picking very many fights. We do see an inkjet go off that picks off the brush. The vac goes off, but it doesn't really look like anyone's able to follow up with that. It took a bit for them to take zone, but they do get it eventually. The slider getting a double, and 21 Jellies is left with only the edit.
Yes, it's just Pokeario alive on that headed as the team got wiped out by Cat with that slider and Dreadbringer combo. Micro in this tent, pushing forward, trying to just stall time and get Hammerhead Sharks a better lead. A very smart jump out there as they've overcommitted to that walk forward. 21 Jellies down 2 members, but Crustaden with that hammer coming through, trying to get the pick, but the geometry not working out, managing to trade out garbage on the top there. But Hammerhead Sharks still in control, keeping the paint down and not letting 21 Jellies come in, especially with this vacuum.
That vac was huge. It blocked off a really massive entrance route for 21 Jellies, and they do go 3 down because of it.
Yeah, Lepton not in a great position here, having to use the inkjet. Does manage to get 1. Can they get 2? No, the timer goes out. The slider camping the landing. Cat knew they had a free opportunity, but allowing Boa T on the side of 21 Jellies to slide in and steal that zone away to make sure Hammerhead Sharks can't get any closer to a KO. Hammerhead Sharks still in the lead, but not in control.
The state of the match currently feels very, very different from the beginning of the game. Now we're seeing players going down all over the place, while the start of the match was pretty stally.
Yeah, and that's what it takes sometimes, is finding that footing to go from that skirmishing stage to playing just in your lane. Now, 2 members, 21 Jellies, go down on an attempted push, but able to get defended by Hammerhead Sharks. We see the 2 coming in right side, Crustaden and Lepton. Lepton going down, Crustaden managing to survive, as now 2 members are down once again. Only 10 ticks left until Hammerhead Sharks win. 5, 4, 3, 2, but the slider manages to cap the zone and pick off Cat. 21 Jellies are still in this.
That was probably one of the most clutch sliders we've seen today.
Definitely now. Garbage trying to set up on this brush, get back this control, because there's still time to KO. Only 1 minute 15 seconds, but it's still enough.
It is once again just the edit holding up on their own. Hammerhead Sharks can definitely make this comeback, but they do let the wipers slip in and get a few shots of paint on the zone.
A lot of trades coming in from both teams, just trying to find that space. We're once again in this neutral area, but Hammerhead Sharks still in control. Then the flip coming from the slider, but gets shut down. Boa T had to do what had to be done to apply the penalty, but putting Cat in a more advantageous situation as they can slide after the slider comes in. Hammerhead Sharks know that they just need to stall out. As long as they have the counter slider ready, they're good to go. Crustating getting the double, using that hammer buff to get the pick from long range and then picking off another player just with the wiper as it stands. 21 Jellies are now in full control of the map. There's a lot of paint, but Garbage with the brush coming in for the flank, getting one. 15 seconds left, going down to Poke Ario. Not a lot of time left. 21 Jellies are looking for this overtime with a wipeout.
It's very possible that the Dread will be painting for sliders to cap zone here. It's a matter of patience, but they don't have much time.
Not a lot of time indeed, 10 ticks, but they do get the zone. 3 members of 21 Jellies go down. The vac coming out from Micro, allowing players to walk forward, Cat painting the zone, and managing to get the cap very, very close to the end for 21 Jellies, but Hammerhead Sharks able to grab that win.
Of all the possibilities, I didn't expect the vac shot to be the thing that caps zone.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Vac isn't used very often, so it's not something that you quite expect all the time, but it is a very viable special if put in the right hands, and it did benefit Hammerhead Sharks greatly in that match. Now,
I very much respect that pick, honestly.
Yeah, I have the tent in general. I think is a pick that I respect a lot. Whether they pick either kit, the Zuga obviously being much more prevalent, but going into round 2 now, Rainmaker on Undertow. That vac could be a very interesting pick to come out, as it is a niche Rainmaker pick that can allow you some pushes. But I wouldn't honestly be too surprised if they even opt for the Zuka instead.
A little unrelated to the set, but we haven't seen any bows today.
Yeah, I think
Which is really funny because in SBA Season 0, like every other team had a bow player.
We definitely may have cursed it by talking about how both of us play bow.
Oh
So I
no!
think it's the commentator curse. Usually the commentator curse is something bad happening to a player. We cursed ourselves this time. I don't know how we managed to do that, but we did it very backwards. But now, Undertow, Rainmaker. Honestly, a lot of weapons that they played in that previous match are good picks here. So I wouldn't be surprised to see not a lot of changes from these comps, but again, with those 5-person rosters, we may even see some massive switch-ups because they may have alternate weapons that some of these players can bring out.
Yeah, a lot of the weapons they picked in the previous match were really good for zones, so I wonder what would change for Rainmaker.
Yeah, I suspect maybe Cat and Boa both playing that Dreadringer could switch off. I know it's not a very common weapon in Rainmaker, though it can be useful. The paint output it can be very advantageous. The slider for getting a cheeky pop on the Rainmaker could be a do or die play, but they may opt for something that can shred that Rainmaker a little bit more consistently. You know, we talked about how we haven't seen a bow today. Exactly, I was going to bring up Wellstring, very good weapon to shred Rainmaker bubbles or Splatlings as well. There's a lot of options for these teams coming into this match.
It looks like Hammerhead Sharks are going to be getting in a sub. So we might see a different weapon. A very different weapon this time round.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I alluded to earlier. With that extra person on a roster, it opens up a whole multitude of options for your weapons. We did lose Cat. As I mentioned, the Dreadringer player getting subbed out. So definitely going to be seeing something different than that slider, which is, to be expected a lot in this kind of map and mode. Getting into this match, finally, Hammerhead Sharks are up 1. Can they secure this win and go to the top bracket, or will 21 Jellies bring them into Game 3? Let's find out.
Find out in the next episode of... I've already made that joke today. Never mind.
Now, we do see the Wellstring coming out on the side of 21 Jellies. As we kind of predicted, we finally see a bow today. Now, that's going to have a lot of leverage for this roster, as it gives it a lot of popping power And we see the side of Hammerhead Shark sticking relatively same comp, except losing their Dreadbringer for that roller as Shark has subbed in for Cat.
Something I noticed on the weapon screen, I saw QR tent. How do you feel about that build?
That's a pretty common build for tent. Tent players like to run QR. It's very similar to a slosher in a lot of ways and how it likes to play the game. Utilizing.
I'm not very familiar with tent, which is why I'm asking as well.
Yeah, it can be. It's fairly common for tent to run QR. They do, the way they like to play is kind of just go in, push with your tent, and fight. Now, we didn't talk about it, but Hammerhead Sharks already getting a checkpoint by pushing the right path. Fairly uncommon, but they got the picks and gave them the opportunity. But now they're 3 members down. Make that a wipeout as we see Crust 8 on that wiper walking through. Left checkpoint broken. 21 Jellies are looking to make a really strong push here. Crust 8 does use the hammer a bit early. Here comes Garbage on the flank, getting left in, and now a wipeout for Hammerhead Sharks. It is just a massive back and forth for both of these teams.
We've seen wipeout like 3 times already. So I wonder how far they're gonna be able to push the rain this time. Do they see the sharking? They do not, and they were able to get a triple. This is huge for them, and they might be able to get lead off of this.
When your name is Shark, you gotta be careful. They're gonna be in the ink again. That triple kill, a huge play from the roller. Micro now holding this Rainmaker, just trying to skirmish, buy some time. A lot of members going down. Just the Wellstring left. Lepton has to make a play here to try to prevent this massive lead, but they're pushed all the way back by Garbage. The Rainmaker getting all the way to 30 so far, still pushing more. They're losing members. There's yet another wipeout on the counter, but a push to 20 is kind of scary for 21 Jellies. They're gonna need to make something happen here. And with 3 minutes left, they got plenty of time.
The evac is going up in mid, which does screw over that Zuka. The Shark is once again sharking, and I don't think they noticed them again.
They gotta be careful. You know, you need, when that first triple kill happens, your team has to be hyper aware that it's going to happen again. Because why? Don't fix it if it ain't broken. Now, Micro once again holding that Rainmaker, just in a position to stall for time. They already have an amazing push. They don't need to do anything else. They just need to annoy 21 Jellies and keep them locked in and wait for that opportunity. Boaty on that shot, trying to get Micro, unable to get the pick though. They're just juggling back and forth, unable to get it. There they go down. Now Hammerhead Shark still in control of the map. Look at all of that purple ink. It's not a great position for 21 Jellies. They're gonna need to break out here somehow.
I find it pretty interesting how they decided to push that, especially since they didn't really need to do so over there. I wonder if there was like a plan behind that.
It could be a attempt to get more points. It could also be a way to replace your Rainmaker carry-o. Micro holding that Rainmaker loses the tent for the team and it loses their back, so they may have wanted those resources and put the Rainmaker in 21 Jellies' court, because now they're the ones who have to make a push. They do opt to let the Rainmaker reset, but Hammerhead Shark's still in control, so this is still an advantageous stall out for them. 21 Jellies need to get specials, get picks, but no, 2 members down. They're pushed in a corner,
really
both specials come out. The Hammer does manage to get Shark, gets 2 actually. As the jumps came in, they throw the Hammer, and now with the pop, a minute left. 21 Jellies are looking to make a push.
With a backup, they will have to wait it out before they can do anything. Which does happen, but they are once again in a state of neutral and also very grouped up.
No, with only 35 seconds left, they have managed to get 3 picks. There's the wipeout, yet another wipe, but this is going to be the most important wipe for 21 Jellies. Can they make this push work? All 4 pushed up.
They need to be
Micro
really careful to not go up too quickly.
Micro putting up the shield, blocking the Rainmaker shot, saving themselves. Crusting and getting the pick with the Hammer now. They have the Rainmaker once again. This push is not stopped, but no, Shark coming in now. Plenty of jumps flying in for 21 Jellies. 5 seconds left. They have to grab this Rainmaker and get ready for this push. There they go. No, actually, the Rainmaker getting sniped, I believe, by Micro at the last second, shutting down the overtime. Hammerhead Sharks are taking this set 2-0.
if they had done so any earlier, it looked like they were gonna jump the Rainmaker off the map, which could have extended the overtime actually.
Yeah, it could have extended the overtime, but it also would have put the Rainmaker back in mid and given them a chance to set up a better defense, because there was a very possible opportunity for 21 Jellies to break through and get a lead there, pushing it to game 3. If you're Hammerhead Sharks, you want to make sure that they don't get an opportunity. So again, Hammerhead Sharks taking that set 2-0.
Bearing the Rainmaker in overtime is a really heavy responsibility. My condolences to anyone who has to carry that burden.
I accept your condolences, because that happens to be me half of the time.
Me too.
It's yeah,
Cries and
it's
backline.
that's the bow lifestyle. Anyway,
Yeah.
congratulations to Hammerhead Sharks. Now, obviously, we're waiting for the rest of this group stage to finish up. Actually, no, it has finished up, so I do think we have our teams. And yes, Hammerhead Sharks now going to the top bracket thanks to that win, where they'll be facing off against Too Late, Flying Daggers, and What the Fuzz in that bracket. Unfortunately, myself and Tomu will not be your commentators for the bracket stage. We're going to be bringing in 2 other commentators to do that. So before we decide to go out, Tomu, where can the lovely viewers find you on the internet?
My social is pretty much just Phantomu _ on everything. How about you?
As for me, you can find me most actively on Blue Sky at hitw.inc, and you can find me literally everywhere else at Hammy in the Wall. Thank you all for watching. Thanks to our TOs and production for putting on this amazing show so far. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back very, very soon with 2 new commentators and the top bracket, the senior bracket of SBA Showcase Season 1. We'll be back very soon.
Good.
Well, hello, it's your conscience speaking. We haven't spoken in a while. I'm just kidding. Once again, you've fallen for the classic blunder of the commentator switch.
How dare you?
Yeah, indeed. But hello, my name is Snug Kieran, or perhaps you recognize it from the trailer. This handsome voice isn't exactly hard to replicate. I'm just kidding. And with me today, I have my co-commentator, Straw Hat.
Hello. Yes, we have
Yes.
arrived, and we're into the second portion of the tournament. And I guess just to comment on some of the earlier matches, what a blowout on a lot of these. On a lot of these, not it for one team in particular, but just for the ink. You know, I think everybody came here and we're ready to unload on the turf. What do you think, Kieran?
I mean, it was a very interesting set. Like the sets we saw on stream were extremely interesting. Definitely some unsurprising picks given the patch, but at the same time, there were some incredible plays from both sides on just about every set. It was very impressive and fun to watch.
Yeah, and we're going to keep it rolling. So next up, we've got no other than the Flying Daggers going up against Too Late. Do you think they're going to be on time today?
I mean, considering their namesake, I do believe they have to commit to the bit at this point.
Yeah,
They've
but
already
let's not
named
jinx
themselves
it.
that.
For sure, for sure. And, you know, it's all good fun. But soon we'll be getting in one of the team managers for Too Late and getting a little more insight on some of these players and see what kind of team comps they're going to be building to take on the opposing teams.
Indeed, indeed.
Hello there, I am Fisk. I'm the team manager for Too Late and also the director of this fancy program, though that is not what's important right now.
Hooray!
Mm.
All right, well,
So,
welcome to the broadcast.
Yeah, welcome. So do tell us a little bit about your team, because I do believe everybody in the audience is quite curious.
Oh yeah, the team is quite fun. I believe they're actually, that's something really curious. I believe they're one of the few teams in this like season of teams that are running pencil comps. Interestingly enough, most of them tend to run either coolerless or something with Zapper added, which is really curious to me, considering the balance of pencil. But then again, we're in low level and we can do whatever is fun to us.
Yeah, low level. What's the meta? What is that four-letter word over there that everybody's trying to, push? I don't know. Right. Either way, so is there anything we should watch out for? Because I certainly see a player with a certain, 3 weapons on their loadout that I like very much.
Kieran has spotted the brush player.
Yeah, fellow brush player spotted.
Oh yeah, for sure. They actually run quite interesting comps. Usually they have their brush, their shot, and then Red Ringer. Something to really watch out for is Ollie and SJ, so that's the shot and sometimes rapid player and the dread player. Both of them are really strong mechanically, and it's actually been quite fun in the past 5 months, seeing them like get these crazy picks whenever we scrim. So definitely watch out for those two.
So going off of that, then I do believe you expect them to at least do well, or perhaps you disagree. How do you think they'll do?
They are like a really strong team. The competition is something that we have to worry about, though. As a matter of fact, we've played the other team, Flying Daggers, in just the last round, of Swiss, and that has been an 0-2 for us. So it's going to be an uphill battle. It's going to be difficult, but I believe that we can adapt into the enemy comp. We can change how we play, and I believe that we can take the W.
Well, at least you're confident with it. But one thing I think everybody's asking is, where did the name come from? Like, that's definitely something we should probably ask ourselves, because it's a rather unique name.
That's quite an interesting story, actually. So we have like an internal ID system for all the teams that we make, and this team has the ID 8. And when they thought of a few different team names, they really liked playing around with like having 8 in the team name and just like pronouncing that out. So something that came up is literally having the letters 2, L, and then 8 to pronounce that out to too late. And that's kind of where the team name came from there.
I see. Okay, well, that's an interesting one. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Well,
clever.
So, I do believe that's all we have. Yeah, I do believe that's all the questions we have. Unless you'd like to give out some additional information or fun facts about the team, real quick.
I think that's everything. Look forward to the set. It's going to be a fun one.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for all that, Fisk. And we look forward to seeing your team out there on the battlefield, if you will. So we're going to be looking at our maps coming up. Because of the semifinal, it's going to be a best of 5. So they're going to have both teams are going to have a chance to scrap it out. Starting off with zones, how do you feel about Umami Ruins?
Umami Ruins is a fairly interesting map for the first one. It's definitely a map that you can work well with a lot of weapon comms, and it's a 2 zones map. So both teams get the zone flip condition is a little different than most of the other traditional maps in the game. But you need to be careful because again, you taking mid is a fairly powerful play, but you need to be careful that somebody doesn't throw an explosive up there.
So it's going to be a
really
lot of.
comes down to
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because of the divider in the middle, it can be very easy for a player to flank or sneak around if they're not if the attention isn't on them. Pardon me. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how these two different teams focus with their comms, especially with a brush on the field. Because if you don't look at the brush, well, the brush has a tendency to suddenly teleport behind you.
Yeah, they tend to lose track, or players tend to lose track of the brush if you don't keep an eye on it. We know that Too Late's going to probably be going for the cooler. We'll see if Flying Daggers tries to counter with their own cooler. But like you said, 2 split zones. It's going to be easier to contest and also harder to kind of try and keep control of that zone as players keep coming back in from spawn. What I can gather from Umami Ruins, a pretty open, pretty big map. So we're gonna have to keep an eye out for any charger picks or things like that. Or even we saw in Too Late, they had the Stamper there. I could imagine we're going to be seeing some Zipcasters into the back line, try and disrupt sort of the flow and the hold that some teams might have on the zones.
Well, I do believe things are looking to get going, and here we are. Welcome to Umami Ruins, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to get interesting.
Yeah, after we take a look at these banners, those squids look fresh. Oh, we've got
double sword. Okay, double sword. No brush coming out from the other side. Well, this is definitely an interesting com. That's the least to say.
Yeah, and the Jets
I'm surprised double sword
too. I think that's not something you usually see, but it's probably going to have a lot of impact on these zones, able to give a lot of protection and push up on one of the sides. But here we go, the scrapping begins. Let's see who capitalizes.
Yeah, the thing is, they need to be very careful with their spacing, because if one, oh my goodness, and a very aggressive reslider comes out.
Yeah, just out of range. There comes
incredible
the
positioning though.
vac.
A vac comes out, and a Zipcaster to follow. Another counter zip to try and counter the vac. What is this? Are we playing cards and we playing? Yeah. Are we playing cards and we playing Splatoon? Oh my god.
Spider-Man versus Venom. Watch out.
Yeah, and the exact thing I was afraid of starts to happen. Like, once one of these stampers gets a hit, the other one is going to be able to follow very quickly from a different angle. And, well, that can easily result in a fast snowball. So now we have Too Late on the back foot here, trying to get back into the zone. They have a reslider, they just need to get close enough to use it. The cooler is active too, so we're going to have to see some aggression.
Here comes a Crab!
Yeah, Crab gets taken out. Excellent shooting from the Blaster. The Blaster is now on hike with a jet, goes and uses it, directs the Zipcaster, but unfortunately, a vac saves him. Oh my goodness, yes, very good use of the vac. Oh, what a landing round. Good zone neutralization, but again, they flying daggers are already here. Like
have
they're
to
taking their
control.
namesake.
Yeah, since the
They're
beginning.
taking their namesake very seriously with this strategy, with this unconventional strat. Again, the zone is neutralized, but again, that is only one of those zones. They have like 5 seconds on the clock here if the zone does not flip. So they need to be
2
careful.
minutes in.
Zone is going to flip again. Oh no, that is a tragic
Got
one.
10 points. Oh, it's back.
Oh, they're
We're
keeping it
fighting.
neutral. They like.
Yeah, they put a penalty on it. Here comes the special.
Oh, okay, one frag.
It's a nail biter.
It is indeed. Oh my
It's
goodness.
just back and forth.
Too Late is holding off this first point with their lives.
Flying Daggers is making it impossible for them.
Oh my
I can't
goodness.
believe it. They still haven't put a penalty on.
This is an incredible
Oh,
display
there
of
it is.
tenacity, and the penalty does get applied. It is not over for Too Late. And again, sticking to namesakes for these two teams. This is incredibly fun to watch already, and
Big
I'm frankly
momentum
surprised.
Big momentum swing for Too Late. They're trying to now answer back and say, no, we can hold control just as good as you can. But
is a
Flying
back
Daggers,
ready.
I think, with a few specials and misses, but then comes in with the Zipcaster trying to disrupt the back line.
Unfortunately, that Zipcaster doesn't look like it's going to get much. And again, they maintain
Didn't
control.
capitalize.
Too Late is maintaining control, and in oh,
Big reef slider.
What a reef slider! And unfortunately, that to cover it was a little too late. And well, the sword, being a sword, kills the vacuum. Dooley's left alone in the middle, in mid, again gets picked off, but 2 players go down on Too Late, and I do believe they are going to get a penalty for this if they're not careful.
Yeah,
It does happen.
And then they get pushed back. Here comes one of the.
Oh my
stampers.
goodness! Again,
Just missing
incredibly
that.
aggressive. Yeah, and Flying Daggers incredibly aggressive with their swords, and I respect the commitment to do so. But they need to be careful. They didn't have the support of the depth culture there. Whom is doing a very good job of maintaining the front line for their team. But they need to be careful as the sword can outrange you, and you get chipped out, unfortunately.
Yeah, that blaster helped do some extra
Ooh.
damage. Nice direct. Is he gonna get the last player?
Ollie is schmoovin'.
All right, they're just trying to bait each other out.
Ollie has down a good gallon of tactical juice. Oh, the full damage combo from the crab tank there. Unfortunately, that Dreadringer's
goes down, and
oh,
then there
lands
goes the
directly on
pencil.
someone. Again, an incredibly aggressive push from both of the Stampers will result in a snowball effect, pushing Too Late back into their spawn. A good self-defense, but the Stamper is on their own there.
Yeah, 30 seconds left. Okay, 3 down.
Three
We got
down,
one
and the
ink
last
back
guy's
to
back.
defend against 4 players.
Yeah, but they are stalling in the right way. Can they flip the zone to get overtime started? They have 20 seconds to do so.
Takes the inkjet down.
Oh, the jet gets picked. That isn't good. Again, you need to this is a very, very tough situation for Too Late because again, they are on the clock here. Flying Daggers, all they need to do is stall for a few more seconds and they have the first point. Oh no, the Stamper gets
down.
picked for Too Late.
1
But it's
second
3
left.
down, but it's too late. They've done their job. Stamper using their Zipcaster to stall one of the zones long enough. Very, very close game there. in
Very
my opinion.
intense. Yeah, that is a wrap for Flying Daggers. I think from the beginning, just showing
you got the
how
wrong team.
aggressive they were ready to be, and it took everything for Too Late to even just put a penalty on in the first couple of minutes. So great show. We're not counting them out yet. It is a best of 5.
That
but
was
so
absolutely
far,
an interesting one.
like, how do you deal with the double stamper? You know?
I think that's up to them to decide because again, they were able to definitely work around it. Like it wasn't that much. I don't think it was an issue of comms. I think it was just an issue of how they took their fights or or how the Stampers have pushed them.
Yeah, I
Because you
agree.
saw on multiple occasions, they got chipped down by the just volley of burst bombs and darts that got sent their way. I think.
Yeah, and they were
But-
still managing to get some picks and even it out. So they were building momentum, but we all know in Splatoon, you got to keep being able to carry that momentum. Otherwise, the opponent's team is just gonna carry it back with a special or something like that. So I think double Zipcasters, just sort of pulling aggro, getting in their face, getting in the back line.
Yeah.
yeah, it's tough to deal with. They've got
Yeah,
their
it
work cut out
was.
for them.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely works out for them. I think the highlight of the match, though, was the zone remaining neutral at at around 10 points remaining for about 30
Absolutely.
seconds. That was
Yeah.
a nail biter of a moment because again, Too Late managed to keep the game alive, which was something that was like you got to play well under pressure there just to keep that situation going because like one mistake there and the tournament and your first point was gone like in the first like 2 minutes. But
Well
again,
said.
like
Yeah.
great play from Too Late. Like you
Yeah,
can't complain.
they could have lost right there in the first minute or two, and that would be a pretty big demoralizing crush, just in
Mhm.
terms of your mental. So I think being able to fight back and say, okay, yeah, we didn't win the first match. You know, we've played against this team before. We know what they're capable of, but at least we're not getting rolled over. So good
Yeah,
on you, Too Late. Keep fighting.
yeah. It's a good mentality to have of just being like, wow, that was a close match. That's definitely doable. It's like having the mentality of, okay, we can do this. It's like not giving up after first set well, after first point. Because again, you can take this to game 5. I can definitely see these teams fighting, like getting a slugfest going until it's game 5.
That would be
And we'll
epic.
have to see because right now it is ship-shaped cargo on well on tower. So tower with double stamper and a vac might be interesting because that I can definitely see that push just snowballing. But we'll have to see how Flying Daggers chooses to execute those pushes.
Yeah, let's see if they switch comps, if they feel comfortable. Okay, it looks
Oh no,
like
they are.
they're locked in.
Mhm.
And
And
we've got
we don't see an adaptation on the other side either.
everybody's confident in their abilities, so they're just gonna let it
mean,
all out there.
Blaster on a tower map is never a bad idea, and oh my goodness. Oh, incredibly aggressive push
Already.
from the dualies right away, taking out 2. Both the Blaster and the Stamper are down for Too Late. That is not good. The Dread, again, is left reeling, goes for a oh my goodness!
God.
Unfortunately, that is a Reef Slider moment.
Yeah,
That is a Reef
Agu
Slider moment.
went
They were a
up
little
the
too far down the
platform.
incline to kill.
Yeah, he
And
went
a
up
Crab
the
Tank
platform.
protected
Wow.
by a Vac comes out.
That's hard
They
to
have
deal
a
with.
they have a Zipcaster on the ready. 2
Yeah,
Zipcasters are ready. They are going to pop both of them and push the top side.
Yeah,
Oh my
Blaster
goodness!
down. Oh my god.
Prepare
yeah,
for
they
trouble
just
and make
hold
it
aggro.
double, but unfortunately,
Hey, look at the south
Too
side.
Late.
The tower.
Yeah.
It's already at
Yeah.
20 points.
The
They'll
thing is,
clean it
Too
up.
Late have managed to fracture the push. Too Late have managed to fracture the push and stagger them. So now, again, they will send the tower back, but they have lost players. Argu is looking to most likely get jumps, or is just waiting for a flank. It doesn't
gonna
seem like,
wait,
yeah, no. Oh,
They
he
don't
does,
even see it
no, he gets a
coming.
flank. Oh, he goes down.
They had no clue. And can they get some more?
Yeah, I mean, they're not dead yet, so we'll have to
Okay.
see. But they do know they're there. Ooh, okay. Oh, SJ thought Argu was dead. Okay, good pick, 3 down. Never mind, 2. 3 down
There
again.
it
Oh
is.
my goodness, this
Yeah.
changes. The game state changes so quick with this kind of comp.
You saw into
Oh,
the
what a
future.
reach! What a jump swing there from SJ to reach that Stamper. We have Crab Tank coming out. Argu again looking to deny space here.
Yeah, they're trying to stop.
Okay,
the
we have a
push, and they're
Reslider on the point.
doing a
Again,
reasonable
Stamper
job
goes
at
down.
it. We got more
Oh, Reslider
special.
comes out, does kill someone.
Takes
The
him out.
explosive radius does in fact kill one of the Stampers, and the other Stamper is left running for their lives. But Argu on the other side of the map has the other team in a bind and gets a wipe because of a flank. My goodness.
That was pretty clean. It looked chaotic. The flying daggers were very split up. Only one on tower, but taking the advantage here. And now they're not.
Oh
They're
my
not slowing
goodness.
down. Their ink
The
tanks are
unbridled
full.
aggression we are seeing here is insane.
It's gonna be very hard for Too Late just to reposition.
Yeah, and now they don't have any
Let alone
checkpoints to
advantage.
protect them. They need to do something, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Oh, they
Nope.
do kill the Tower Rider, but it's 1 frame too late.
Yeah. The frame data was not on their side in this case. Great job from Flying Daggers, really showing the double stamper aggro play. With especially if your dually player is a monster, getting in there early. Congrats
Some incredible
to Too
patience.
Late for putting up a fight, trying to stop them trying to stop Flying Daggers from just steamrolling them. But in the end, they had enough coordination to just pick everybody off and secure that tower victory. So well done.
Mm-hmm. I think it was also like to complement the patience that Argu had there, because they could easily have gone for SJ, but they wanted to kill Ollie because, well, I'm not sure whether they had a specific target in mind, but they could have easily jumped up early from that one initial flank they had. They could easily have jumped up early to get a kill, and they would not have gotten as much value because they probably would have gotten picked off immediately afterwards. So
Yeah,
again, that was on top of the fact that they were willing to meet aggression with aggression and just go straight for a counter push off of the crab. That was a very, very scary thing to see, in my opinion. I'd be intimidated by that display.
Yeah,
I'm
the
gonna be
crab
real. I'd
wave
be
made
intimidated.
it very hard for Too Late to do anything against. They did get it once, but now we're switching modes. We're going into Rainmaker, Undertow Spillway. Did we see this map earlier? I think we did.
We did see this map mode combination earlier. I do believe it was the last set that we saw it in.
Yeah, and it was quite a thrashing between both teams. Let's hope for a similar match. Now here's the question: Flying Daggers went 2 games in a row, double stamper. Are they going to do it 3 games in a row for Rainmaker?
I mean, I think they're going to keep with their namesake. It's definitely working for them. Again, they have a vac weapon. They have 2 weapons that are willing to push together, and they have a crab weapon. I mean, I don't see why they would switch at this point. They've clearly got the momentum, and they're trying to run away with it. But the question is, will Too Late try and respond with a comp change, or will they just try and make an adaptation in terms of playstyle? We'll have to see, because there's no way we can tell until we see what happens in the game.
Yeah, and I think Too Late has an extra player. We'll see if they do any swaps.
We'll have to see, but like, let's run it. Because now Too Late are here for this. Are going to have to play for their for the set life, not their tournament lives just yet. So we're going to have to see.
Point for Flying Daggers, same comp all the way around.
Yeah. No, same comp on both sides. They definitely, It's not surprising that Flying Daggers have the pop power here because of, well, ooh, a little too close, and you get comboed from it.
In the first 20
down
seconds.
from Tempest, and Tempest doesn't look like he wants to let the pencil go, but we'll have to see. Oh my goodness, that was incredibly detrimental to their initial push, and they don't seem like they're going to let go now. A Zipcaster comes out, but immediately cancelled! The push has just been stopped in their tracks with a fantastic reslider.
And they were trying to pressure that.
But Argu has just killed a few players and will now try and make a desperate push to get points in a lead. He gets to 7! He gets to 7!
Insane. Nice squid roll to try and get just a little bit more and also shield himself from some damage. I thought that push was halted when the Reef Slider came out, but it looks like they
Tempest! Oh yeah, Tempest has managed to get on a flank, but I don't think anybody sees them. But SJ has done the right thing and has dropped the Rainmaker into a very beneficial spot for their team. Tempest actually does get a kill. It was a little scuff. Tempest is still on the flank. I'm not sure whether somebody is paying attention. Are we going to turn around? No. Again, the Pencil doing a grand job of staying alive and trying to keep paint up. Tempest again in a spot to lurk and wait. Zipmaster comes out, tries to go for a pick on Ollie, but does not. Ollie's had enough of their shenanigans and is sending them packing.
Now here comes
no cooler for them either, meaning their respawn is going to be relatively long. A reslider comes out, not much from it. Oh my goodness.
Down goes the Rainmaker. Yeah, they're all
Flying
fighting
Daggers
on this
again are just Flying Daggers are maintaining pressure and are keeping players. They are winning a lot more fights on average here. Oh my goodness.
It seems
they
like
lose both of their swords for the moment.
Can only just try and keep keep the Flying Daggers from getting up on their platform. But now we see a more neutral position for everybody, and here they come trying to get in and see what they can do. Zipcaster
comes out. It doesn't get anyone, unfortunately. It went off alone. I think they need a little more than that for them.
Yeah, I think that was too preemptive. Here comes the crab, bit of support, trying to harass in the pit.
Pencil does get picked. Pencil does get a pick here. Look, the Vac comes out, denying the push entirely. The Blaster and the Dreadrigger attempt to make a push, but the Vac is well timed.
Here comes Inkjet for defense. He's trying to get some height, but it couldn't last long enough. I think this might be significant if Too Late can't stop this Rainmaker from pushing up.
Yes, I agree. Like, they have not been able to get past mid.
There he comes,
And that is a
okay.
very bad thing for them. Oh, 3 down. Is that going to be 4? Ollie looks to make it so.
big.
Ollie just takes out 2 players in a clean 2v1 And
Right,
now,
they
again,
finally get
they
it
need to
down.
maintain this pressure. They need to create space, but they need to do it. Oh no, Argu again,
Oh my God,
letting a
no.
dodge roll rip and just go straight for an elimination.
Yeah,
And they don't have any special to complement this push, and it's going to die right as it started. Tempest looking to kill Bam, and it does happen. This is a very tragic tale.
Their whole team with some specials and the Rainmaker as support. Watch out from above. Take shelter. Too late because
Ooh, good
this
shot
could
from
get
Ollie.
ugly. Yes, very good pick. And another one.
Yeah, and again, forcing the vac, but it might not be good because, again, that vac is just sucking up all of those projectiles and resulting in a big explosion. But again, like, we're going to have to see how they're able to respond here because the unbridled aggression and pressure these, like, flying daggers are putting out is just remarkable to watch. And again, Tempest gets another flank. Tempest gets one. Tempest might get 2. He does get 2. They do get 2. They get 3. They might get 4. They get 4.
The whole shish kebab.
Indeed, the whole family meal.
And why not just
Oh
throw
my
your special
goodness,
out?
so much value off of a single flank, and again, the pressure has just been put on even more for Too Late.
Big
This
harass
is
in the
not
back
good.
line.
Oh,
And a
2 down
crab.
for Too Late. This might, in fact, be
How
too
do you
late.
stop this? How do you stop it?
Oh my goodness, Mishi is
going.
going in. Mishi dunks it, and that's it. Closing out the game before overtime. My goodness. Oh,
Wow.
Too Late held out as long as they could, but Flying Daggers putting out an astounding amount of pressure I can't say it any other way. That was a dominant game 3, and they look to close it out with a 3-0.
Well said. Yeah. And if anybody doubted the double stamper meta, hey, here you go.
The double
2
stamper
flying-
question mark meta?
Yeah,
Like,
two
that
two
is
zipcasters
clickbait.
flying around. I think the vac and just not just the vac, but having the jet squelcher's range was just really useful to harass that sort of middle point where a lot of the enemy team was sort of protected. And with the dualies, obviously, we saw Agu just getting in there and getting these picks and going off with the inkjet. Solid stuff.
Mm-hmm. Like, they might, like, my favorite thing about the Flying Daggers so far was their just ability to go, okay, foot on the gas, we don't stop. And it worked so well for them on multiple occasions of just being like, you guys may have trying to start a push, but we're going to push back into you. And they just, Too Late couldn't really, I don't know, they didn't have an answer for that, like, willingness to just go constantly on the offensive. Like, I'm not sure what they could have done. It's really difficult to figure out from just the commentator seat.
Yeah, it's and you notice some picks from the blaster, notice some picks from the pencil too, but we really didn't see Too Late able to, at least in that last game, to break out of their side of the map. Flying Daggers did a good job, just keeping them on their side and forcing that sort of defensive play.
Indeed. They did not let that Rainmaker take a single step towards their objective. They did not want it to do so. They willed it into existence, basically.
Yeah, congratulations to Flying Daggers, and kudos to Too Late. They showed up, they came out, and this isn't the only tournament that is going to be happening. So we definitely look forward to seeing them again, and hopefully we'll see a rematch. Because Fisk did say that they've played Flying Daggers before. They've struggled to beat this particular team. So I think it's just more stuff to look forward to in the next tournaments.
Yeah, in the next sets. But for the moment, we'll be right back with the next set when it's ready. So don't go anywhere.
Down for now. And we are back. So we just took a little bit of a break, get our cells all cleaned up from that last match because it was pretty crazy, wasn't it, Snug?
I mean, it was. There's no other way to describe that last one except for complete insanity with a side of Stamper.
Yeah, and we've got Flying Daggers coming back, and they're going to be facing What the Fuzz, and it's going to be probably the highlight face-off, if you will. So they're going to be facing off, trying to get some offsides and maybe a few interference with the goalies. All the sports references.
Yeah, like let's just start throwing like random sports jargon out, see what sticks with Splatoon. Yeah, see how that works. But anyway, I do believe one of the most remarkable things about What the Fuzz is the fact that I do believe this is the team that made Div 6 in Looty, which for a team first time working together, and especially with the fact that they have a Clash Blaster player on their team, I don't think when people started taking Looty seriously, I don't think if you told the person for a person doing Looty at the start of it, if you told somebody in the past that a Clash Blaster would be in Div 6, they probably would say probably no. They wouldn't believe a single word that was coming out of your mouth. But
Yeah.
then we fast forward to today, where a Clash Blaster is in fact in Div 6. If there are any Clash Blasters above Div 6, pardon me that I'm not aware of your existence. Do excuse that. Do excuse the hubris. But I mean, it's definitely an interesting case. I think we can both say that.
Yeah, and it's not just going to be for a meme team either. I mean, we've seen it. We saw in the first match when they were playing against Trout Sandwich that Clash Blaster able to get some picks on the Ultra Stamp from the side. It's definitely not the most useless weapon. I think just, people got a lot of hate in their heart from the online matches against the Clash. But in this competitive format, we'll see what the comps look like for What the Fuzz. If they're going to sort of stick to their guns, kind of like in the earlier matchups, or if they've got some cooking for Flying Daggers. You never know.
I mean, they're definitely gonna have to. I mean, if Flying Daggers doesn't intend to change their comp again, it's gonna be really interesting because, well, let's just see how they hold up. Let's see if they fare any better than Too Late did. Oh my goodness. I'm still not over that set. I never will be. And we're getting right into it because What the Fuzz is looking to immediately open up and hoping to probably blitz them. But we'll have to see how Flying Daggers look to approach this fight.
Yeah, and there's the Clash, there's the double stamper. So it looks like everybody's sticking to their guns. And we got a Ninja Squid on the 52. I'd love to see that.
I mean, it's not an uncommon sight.
While you were saying that.
Okay. Well, only in SBA, ladies and gentlemen, only in SBA. But in the meantime, while that guy is while the Clash Blaster tries off, yeah, okay, so Decaf kills 3, and the match continues. So here we are. We have Argu looking to maybe play Anchor and potentially get their team back in with a Crab because they're the only person who didn't go down in that initial engagement. But again, let's see how What the Fuzz deal with 2 Stampers. And the Clash goes down again. Okay, somebody else just fell in the water. Let's just, you know what? Delete the VOD. Cut the footage. Cut the footage. Delete the VOD. Everything.
Restart the match. Can we get the
restart the match? It never happened. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's live on stream, guys.
They're starting to put a penalty onto What the Fuzz, but it seems like What the Fuzz.
Oh my
there
goodness.
He goes. Yeah, you saw it too.
Tempest doing exactly what they did last round was just like, oh, you want to lunge at me? Okay, we shall have an honorable battle to the. Oh my goodness! Okay, that was a clean bit of movement, but it's not noteworthy for the moment. Argu popping Crab on snipe immediately gets sent packing. No mercy from a Trizuka straight to the dome.
Zuka had his number for sure, and now they're trying to displace them with the Killer Wave.
Yeah, indeed, but unfortunately it's not moving. The Flying Daggers is intent on not moving, seizing the lead, and, well, looks like A5 is, looks like V2 is sent. Actually, no! V2 is fighting with the Jet Squelcher and working with it. They actually do get a pick and stand their ground.
What a fighter.
The backline that knows no fear. Oh my goodness,
Exactly.
Tempest and V2 pushing in the left side here, and it's working out miraculously.
That splash wall is giving them nice
Another back
coverage.
comes out, and again, Tempest is watching V2's back, making sure that the decaf, no, the decaf slips through, but the decaf actually trades.
Yeah, not too bad because then that impact didn't go on the zone.
Yeah, indeed, that is good value. And now, What the Fuzz finds himself in control of the zone again. Mishi getting pushed off of the snipe by the Clash. The Clash going down again, and quick combination of chip damage from all 4 players will result in a 3-down situation.
Yeah,
and
the
52 did retreat. Oh, the 52 moment. 52 moment. What do we expect? Oh my goodness. But then again, they did get a penalty applied. So, oh, what is that happening in the corner there? Neither, like, okay.
Yeah,
I'm not even gonna ask questions. That's literally just 2 players being absolutely cracked with movement.
Oh, 52 goes
The
down.
decaf is just standing their ground against 2 players. Unfortunately, they will collapse on them. Oh no! Oh, yeah. Okay,
Almost
so
got killed by the
pushed
Clash
him-
Blaster.
yeah. Clash pushes Michi out from using their Zipcaster for any further. 52 and Clash are going to push the left side to see if they can get around zone to create an opening. The Zuka creates 1 kill, but unfortunately gets traded out immediately. They need to paint zone soon. They're running out of time. The decaf gets back and stopped in their tracks, and they maintain control of zone with these good use of speakers.
It looks like Flying Daggers is going to take this. Yeah.
Well,
there's
you
another
can't say
down.
until the bell goes, but again, it's a 3v3 and the timer's up, unfortunately. Flying Daggers with a solid fight there.
Yeah, that is a wrap. You saw the decaf trying to come in at the end, but then was forced to try and go for one of the enemy players, seeing as how they were right in front of them. But I think either way, great match for Flying Daggers to take control. And at least What the Fuzz was able to do that turnaround in the beginning, get some momentum. But yeah, Flying Daggers had their number. Great picks there, and great teamwork. A lot of follow-up kills when What the Fuzz could have taken an advantage. So first round to Flying Daggers. Well deserved.
I mean, absolutely, yeah, but it was just in very interesting to see, because we had the VAC immediately popped. V2 spacing was on point there, especially in those final moments to avoid the decaf dashing out of the bubble to get the pick on the VAC. They didn't get too close. Then I bet they didn't want to either, because that was a key play to keep the bubble in check.
Yeah, and I mentioned, the 52 on Dr. Lion. He was doing good with the main weapon, but I feel like the special, it did get the Flying Daggers to move around a bit, get off the zone, but I just feel it wasn't as impactful as some of the other specials that were actually getting picks. So maybe they'll think about that. Not that the 52 was bad, not that the Ninja Squid was bad, because we saw Dr. Lion in there in a few scraps, and they came out on top. So we'll see what kind of adjustments they make for Clan Blitz. It is Inkblot Art Academy, so we got a few routes to go up. But we saw last time, I think this was where What the Fuzz was really capitalizing with their decav. The cavitator on that ramp going up to the basket was a big reason why they won their earlier match. Let's see what the teams do with their decals in this match.
I'm definitely interested to see how they approach this.
Yeah, they might just not even go for the decaf, because Flying Daggers has 2 stampers, and that could just be too much for one decaf to deal with. But maybe, who knows, with the wide shots, they can try and line them up and get them both. But that's kind of hoping on a prayer.
Yeah, that's hoping on a prayer, especially if you got two Zipcasters coming at you at the same time.
Yeah, and they don't want to be.
Either way, it's gonna be an interesting one, because I do believe we are getting ready to start this match.
All right, we'll see.
It is going to be Clams Inkblot, which is an interesting one, because again, the momentum in Clamblets can shift so wildly and so often.
Yeah, we're gonna see if they can huck that ball into the basket. See if they can try and get behind the enemy team and maybe get a jump in. So let's just jump into the match and see who's going to come out on top. Dum dum dum.
Oh, they do switch. Oh, we do have an Octo Shot. We have Octo Shot and Heavy Edit coming out from these players. Then again, Lion was using that earlier.
Yeah, no, now they're going back to their sort of earlier comps, and we see Flying Daggers is just as comfortable the way they started.
Oh my goodness, unfortunately the decaf there will attempt to go for a lunge, but Nishi and the other Stamper back off immediately to avoid a collateral situation.
Yeah, it's kind
But
of
I'm
even
not
now.
sure, it's kind of hard to tell who's got the grasp on this situation. Never mind, I'll take that statement back. Looks like Flying Daggers is going to take control of mid here. But this fight is a little scrappy. There's no clear, like, 100% victor. Like, both teams are taking, like, very separate fights across the field. So we're going to have to see. Oh my goodness.
It's almost like a 2v2 on each side.
Yeah, unfortunately the kneecap does go down on the right side, and the heavy edit is being forced back into their spawn with no support, and does get
now they're
picked.
pushing
the
up,
cooler
and
is there.
they've almost got a ball.
Lion
They're
here.
gonna back it out. Yeah, they're gonna retreat. Very safe play.
Okay, they pass the ball up, but unfortunately, yeah, the Stamper does in fact go down there. Yeah, that was Tempest.
Yeah,
Misha again trying to hold the line. A crit from
There's
Hyper
one.
Beam will result in a clean kill, but unfortunately the Bubbler does get put down. Bubbler gets placed. The vac is there though to prevent any space being taken after that. Oh, a good bomb gets two.
This might be the swing that they
Oh,
need.
yeah, here comes the first score, but unfortunately Lion is last alive. No, there's a wipeout occurring.
Okay, so only
A
one ball
decent
of point.
push, but they weren't exactly able to stay alive long enough to get any value outside of the first score. And, ooh, that's a trade.
Now they got to deal with the counter pressure, get control of their platform, and see if they can.
Argu's being
contest
patient,
mid.
almost gets Clashist.
Yeah, very
Well,
close.
I do believe Clashist is now wary of Argu's tendency to be a little sneaky. Lion gets traded off by Argu. Again, Argu is incredibly slippery. And Clashist is just looking to cause some trouble, jumps out. And, I mean, fair enough, there was no way you could have predicted where they would be. An extremely good pick from Hyper Beam, but now they're in a bad spot. They're going to get pinned down here.
Yeah, you might be able to get another
fledge.
one.
Doesn't get a
but
kill. Does actually
there it
just
is.
whip around and kill Mishi.
All right, now it's 4v3. Let's see if they can protect their platform.
Oh, here they are
There's
trying to
one
set
down.
up a push, but they've lost two players. Hyper Beam is alone, but the bubble is still here, unfortunately. The push has seemed to have not gone as expected. What just killed A? What just killed B2?
It must have been a bomb or something stray on
I don't
the
know,
side
man.
there.
Oh, well, surprise Stamper. But again, like, Flying Daggers isn't getting close enough to the basket to be able to make a push right now. Hyper Beam might just kill two players. Oh, no, Whistle couldn't. Well,
you have
I
the
mean, to
ball.
be fair, the life of a decaf player, you either get the biggest of jackpots or you just whiff. And again, trading out.
Oh, I think
Oh
with
my
the ink
goodness,
back,
these
he's
teams
pushing
are
up
just
in.
clashing in an epic proportion. The vac shot goes really far back, doesn't get anything out of it, and they still get removed from the enemy base. Two players remain on each
Everybody's
side.
trading
and
back and
it's still
forth.
going.
Nice try, Zuka. And then the Clash is going to try and
Oh
defend
my
this.
goodness.
Gets the
This
trade.
brawl has been going on for several minutes at this point with no clear winner,
It has.
as it's like no concise winner to this clash, and it just keeps going. At
Yeah,
this
that
point,
ball
I
is
would
going to break
expect-
now. So now no one has a
Yeah.
full, shot at making points. They just have to scrap it out and try and find some loose
Ooh,
plans
Trevor
here and
comes out,
there.
unfortunately, Tempest is there to punish, and, well, Clash is just looking out to refrag immediately. Luckily, they had cooler, so Tempest comes out with a little bit of charge. Hyperbeam gets one pick, sets up Bubbler. Oh, that's not a good idea, V2!
Very
You're a little
nice.
too close that time. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
he
But
was
Tempest
just
comes in,
close enough.
retaliates with a swing of their own, but the Bubbler is still there, keeping their team safe in a position to score, and they will.
There it is. The
Hyperbeam
points are
again
going
has
down.
returned because of his own bubbler, and again, like, what the fuzz? Again, just a strong, convincing take on this map. But they will just expel their enemies. Flying Daggers expel their opponents from their basket again. And here comes a push with both of these zip casters. No, only one, correction, pardon me. But they do go down.
But they've got all
Another
their
zip caster comes
specials.
in, immediately sent back to the respawn. What the fuzz is not looking to go down easily. A crab tank on it. A crab
They're
tank
letting
dropping off
everything
the
rip.
block. That's a bit unfortunate. Unfortunately, there's not enough time to reposition. The vac goes in, doesn't get anyone either. What the fuzz is being very careful not to die here because they need to hold this point and they need to hold it well. 9 seconds.
Great focus
clock.
down on the ball, but
Oh,
then he's trying to
does he get
squeeze
the
it
score?
in.
Peppers does get the score, but there's only one person alive, and they're they're far away. I don't think they're going to be able to get in there in time.
No, great
Unfortunately, that
defensive
will
play.
end overtime. So what the fuzz will take time too. Excuse me.
Very nice game, yeah. And
Indeed, that was a convincing win from What the Fuzz.
you noticed that throughout the match, Flying Daggers kept trying to put pressure on that platform, kept trying to, use someone to go up and in and try and distract them. But every time I almost feel like the Clash or the backliner was just there, was just ready, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't have anybody to contest that. So very good defense, and a solid answer back to the first match. I'm glad.
Yeah, like they're not letting themselves get bullied around here. They're not letting themselves be pushed about. And
Yeah,
I don't think they intend to go down without a fight. So it's definitely an interesting one so far.
Yeah, great picks from Hyperbeam there, and positioning himself with
Mm-hmm.
the bubble special. I think that was pretty much the what sealed it for them. Let them get those extra points, because we saw, if it would have stayed 80-80, Flying Daggers could have had an opportunity to keep it into overtime, and maybe put one more clam in, but they got it down to about 64, I believe it was. So enough to give themselves something to sit back on. Very, very nice.
Indeed. Yeah, it was definitely a great showing of how they managed to play that.
Yeah, 1-1. So we're tied for the series going into game 3, and it's going to be tower control. Mako Mart. We got a lot of mixed feelings about this map, just because it's pretty open. We got the stacks, the blocks, all these sort of places that people can shark around, get behind you. So what do you think is going to help with that stuff in terms of the comps that we've seen so far?
I mean, it's kind of, again, I do this every time when people ask me, like, how do you see this match going? It's really hard to tell how each team is going to change their concept to adapt to either the mode or the enemy's playstyle. Well, they didn't.
Yeah.
I think What the Fuzz definitely found their rhythm, because like Heavy Edit was definitely, I think, the better answer to double Zipcaster, because like you could just spin up and just wait for them to commit to a zip that they really didn't want to, and well, immediately punish it. So, and especially for tower, it's going to be interesting, because two Splatooners trying to contest tower is going to be a fun one to see. Because we saw what happened last time when they started to push with two Zipcasters. We saw exactly what happened.
Yeah, and especially with that sort of melee attribute, being on the tower and being able to, contest people jumping in, people trying to, sort of dance around, going up and down the tower. Sometimes things like the Stamper or rollers or any sort of melee weapon will really, help clear the tower a lot faster. So we'll see how that double Stamper impacts the What the Fuzz attitude when it comes to staying on the tower and trying to be playing a little bit more cat and mouse sometimes with the tower.
Indeed.
So here we go, match number 3. Let's see if no subs, or at least I don't think. All right. Looks like it's same old for both teams. Here we go.
I mean, Dr. Line is sticking with the Octoshock here, whereas Riv is now going back to the pencil for this one. Fair enough. Like, pencil is fairly dominant on this map. The decap gets picked immediately though, and Line is left fighting on their own. Clashes is sticking by their pencil, trying to keep them alive, and unfortunately trades out, but the pen does get out, and a trade on the jump too. So, well, this has certainly been an interesting first few seconds of the match.
Yeah, and this
Line
is
drops
just
left.
letting
Oh, taking
P2
the
just
to go
stay
for
on
a
the
good
tower.
shooting. Oh my goodness. Both teams,
line
again, like,
trade.
this is a trade central, but unfortunately, well, What the Fuzz comes back faster. And looks like Hyperbeam and Clashes are looking to take resonance below the ledge.
Yeah, Flying Daggers was able to get that first checkpoint, but now What the Fuzz is threatening
Riv's
it.
gonna get hounded
just
though.
the same.
Clashes is left alone. Hot Zuka doesn't hit anyone. And is now getting pushed out, but I don't think, Dr. Lion comes over to give them some assistance. It's hard to tell. They do actually have lead. Oh my goodness, it's 3v. No, 3v, 2v1. Hello. The Vac is here, but
Vac.
Clashes is not shooting. Clashes isn't shooting. Oh my goodness! What a best way to counter a panic back is to just not pull your trigger, and it worked very well for Clashes, getting a very good lead out of it, and they're just still going.
Yeah,
They're still going.
Yuka, supporting with the Clash in the back, jumping
Good
out
Good
even.
jump out with Cooler.
Yeah, staying safe, and that's going to hopefully give them a bit more opportunity to come back and keep Flying Daggers from doing the same to them.
But watch out, here comes One Zip. We may get double trouble here unless they attempt to just stall them out. One Zip comes in. Does Tempest get any value out of it? I'm not sure. They don't. The second Zip will probably get popped in a second along with the vac. One pick gets taken. Oh my goodness! Wait, what just happened? We just lost 2 players from What the Fuzz. I'm not sure what's happening. Oh, wait, there's Tempest on the left side. Oh, Hyperbeam, but Hyperbeam is not going to let them go easily. Strikes go down from Lion, and they do actually stop the tower for a bit. But Argu is here to just keep the push going, and they could claim lead again. Oh my goodness, this is such a back and forth fight.
With the crab on the tower there too, that's great.
But the blaster here is just sweeping you up, and well, a nice wipeout. Strong play from Clashes, preventing a knockout.
Now it's
but we're
time
back
for
into the
Flying
difficult
Daggers.
part.
They need to get
We're
back
back into the difficult part of getting past mid.
Yeah, now we're kind of
Riv
stuck
and
in neutral.
oh no! Tempest just snuck up on Riv, and Lion didn't notice, unfortunately. But again, it's two down, and it looks like Riv had just gotten cooler, so they come back pretty quickly.
There's Hyper Beam in the corner, but he gets taken out.
It goes Hyper Beam. Clashes is here to try and prevent any pushing. Gets one, but gets picked up immediately afterwards, and Hyper Beam trades out. But Clashes is already back again because of again cooler. Oh, and Clashy gets another cooler, pops Ingzuka, fires it off, 1 shot, 2 shots, the third may get value, unfortunately no. But again, we are just trying to keep the push going at this point.
Nice.
One player down for What the Fuzz,
another
correction, that's 2 now. Never mind, it's 3. Dr. Lion is now last alive, but where are they? Staying alive, are they going to jump out?
Fighting.
They do, they actually make it out. That's a
Nice.
great save of their strikes.
Yeah, and stop Augu from
Here we
being
go,
able
trying to
kill.
prevent them pushing too far in. Clashes doesn't get anything, neither does the decaf. Hyper Beam goes down as well.
And look at
And
the
now both
specials
stampers are
online.
on point. Yeah,
This
both
is gonna
stampers
be-
have their specials online. Are they going to use them? Let's see. Because we have a
Gonna
vac
be
as well.
patient.
Oh my goodness, what a shot from Riv. The stamper takes the low rat down. Oh well, that's a sword wielder's handshake in the corner there.
Yeah, well said. We got Augu trying to stay alive. Wow. Actually
Getting
surviving.
weeded out. Yeah, Argu getting smoked out by the.
They've got the crab. What are they going to do with it? They're just
I
going to
think
get
they
back.
want to elect the back off and stay alive to prevent a push. And actually, are just going to pop it in the back here.
Yeah.
Perfect fall to touch to hit Lion, but
Trying to
Lion
address
does
Lion.
get picked off by the stabber actually. And Mishi has gone in. Mishi gets 2. Is Mishi going to get a 3rd? No, Tempest is there to help them. Tempest takes the 3rd kill. Do they chain off of it? Oh no, they drop off the snipe by accident.
And look at that again. They've both got their zip casters again.
Yep, and the vac is also popped. Oh, what a destructive
down.
vac to prevent the drop on from the clash. And the crab is now here to supplement the push even further. Hyper Beam trying to prevent the tower from going any further, but unfortunately will get stopped as well. And that's 3 down on What the Fuzz. So Flying Daggers are going to take this one again.
Yeah, great special cycling from Flying Daggers
indeed.
there. I think being able to be patient with some of their specials to then let those specials do the work and let your teammates build up their own specials. Great plays.
Indeed.
By both teams. Both teams were giving it their all and managed to get a significant chunk of that route that the tower needs to take. So usually, when you're at a higher level, you get teams that are sort of refined over time. It's harder to get such a lead even when the opponent team inevitably beats you. So good job for What the Fuzz being able to hold that out and make it competitive. I like to see that.
Yeah, it was definitely a very interesting match. But now we are on to Rainmaker on Humpback Pump Track. Oh boy, I hope you guys like choke points because we love them apparently.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting.
Oh my goodness.
With all the curves on the map. Humpback's been around for a while, so a lot of people have a pretty good understanding of it. But
People
like,
also have very strong opinions about it.
yeah, and I think it's going to come down to players utilizing some of these different routes that you need to watch out for. So a lot of times, I've been noticing, especially with the zip casters, on the side of What the Fuzz, usually the backliner has been pretty good at identifying, those threats coming in from the side and stuff like that. So you want to have a backliner, or at least a team that's going to keep an eye out for any flankers, because I think Flying Daggers is very good at utilizing those tactics so far.
Yeah, indeed, they are. Again, they're really good at keeping aggression up and keeping pressure, but I mean, they almost faltered a couple times, though. That's for sure. They almost faltered in those last few in that last game.
Even though they've got a strong comp, they seem to have a strong team, function between themselves. We know that.
And I do believe the game is starting, and we have a substitution. Riv is switching out with Bubs.
Okay, what are they going to
Oh,
play?
Paintbrush, hello.
Oh, there you go.
This is certainly going to be an interesting one.
All right, I like.
Oh, it's Paintbrush Nouveau too.
Momentum.
So let's see how they approach this fight now with a different weapon, with a different weapon set. Hyper Beam immediately going on to attempt to flank, but unfortunately gets caught. Clashist is here to try and chip damage. Yeah, chip damage is the name of the game here, and they do get checked very quickly. So Hyper Beam jumps back in. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh, that could have ended poorly if they didn't actually get the hits in, but they do. But looks like Tempest isn't going to let this fight happen without him. Without them. But Lax alive, and wow, okay, Fuzz gets wiped. Okay, right, now again, they're on the back foot and they're on the defending side.
Yeah, and they've already
But
got
they still have lead.
there.
Ooh, a good back.
Pushing them up, and then What the Fuzz is just kind of having to back off and kind of come back to mid.
Oh no! Lion choosing a very poor moment to use Zuka there, gets caught in the blast radius. And Bubs unfortunately not getting anything either.
Two down for them, and
goes in to try and catch the bomb.
To try and save them, or to try and get something lucky on this Rainmaker, but great suppression.
Hold up, Argu's like left the crab.
Oh
yeah, Argu's still alive. Yeah, Argu managed to flank with a crab. Oh my goodness, this isn't good. Again, like they're like What the Fuzz is still on the back foot. They have still yet to get themselves out of this corner that they've managed to be put in. Hyper goes down for explosive. They finally dislodge Argu and get him off the field, but unfortunately it might be too late. Yeah, another player goes down, and they do actually manage to stop the Rainmaker again, but at what cost?
Very significant lead.
Tempest last alive.
And,
looks like they're gonna have to, yeah. Well, this is a tough one already. Like What the Fuzz have already been, like not even 2 minutes into the match, and What the Fuzz have already been put into a very big do or die situation. Zuka comes out from Clashist, doesn't get anything out of it, but I think they're just trying to create pressure.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
Oh,
and I
good
think,
pick from Hyper. Hyper Beam is looking to get two. Does in fact get two.
There we go. The advantage is that they don't have.
Somebody comes in, Tempest from the back.
What a sneaky play.
Yeah, Tempest and Argu managed to flank around. They don't have that object damage, and Clashist goes down to the explosion. Superior object damage will unfortunately result in a dead push.
That was a great turnaround, because it seemed like What the Fuzz had the momentum to push, and it was lucky that they already took down the checkpoint, so they could just run it. But now, here we go, Crab, Rainmaker, just a lot of pressure.
Oh my goodness, yes, but unfortunately they aren't exactly looking to lose a push themselves. They are going to try and immediately return fire and just eliminate the push, but it looks like V2 is just not scared of that bubbler. They are not scared of the decap. And they don't intend to back down. Again,
I want this win.
Yeah, they don't want to give up. They do not give up ground easily, and I think that's something that a lot more people need to look out for. But V2 does in fact go down with due to a combination of chip damage.
Oh, and then we have the dude hiding there.
Yeah,
just
Lion gets
sharking.
picked off by Argu, and now Argu is on the flank again, and Bubs doesn't seem to be aware of that fact. They need to be careful. Throws out Wavebreaker. Actually does, in fact, pick up on the fact that Argu is there, but Bubs gets taken out by chip damage. Argu is still on the left side. Pops Crab!
Just harassing them.
Nobody's looking at him. Like, he's just there. Like, I'm sorry, is anybody gonna look at the armored target? Just kidding. It's like, it's incredibly tough. I
Yeah,
can't
he's
blame
saying, "I
them for
thought
not
this was a
looking
team
everywhere
game."
way at once. Okay, we have 2 down on the side of Flying Daggers, but they still have specials. Never mind. Hyper Beam goes down. And so does Bubs. This isn't good. And a vac comes out. The decaf isn't anywhere near to contest, and this might be another. Oh my goodness. That's just timing.
Yeah, a
Lion
big
has the
impact
zone,
to the face.
has it here, but there's no checkpoint, so he can't use Azuka. He's committed and he's stuck in a corner. Another one goes down.
Did he get
Hyper
out?
Beam still trying to protect their teammate. Gets 3.
We got 1
Argu
minute
is
to go.
still in mid, and he's gonna get crab soon. They're gonna get crab soon if they don't. Ah, there it is, exactly what I called. And gets 1 immediately off of the first shot. Gets 2, and last alive is again Lion, and they do shut that push down again. It's met at the gates.
Yeah, that was an incredible wipeout. You thought that they would be able to at least hold off the Rainmaker or protect it, but no, they were just stuck in the corner. And now here we go, 30 seconds to go, and Flying Daggers. It's all on them. Let's see.
Well,
if
hold up, wait.
shut them down.
Again, it's not over until it's over. You have 2 dead on the
15
side of
seconds
both
left.
teams, and looks like, oh my goodness, Argu again is playing to keep
Final
their team
flash.
in the fight, and it might just work. Yes, Argu gets 1 pick, gets 2 from the jump, and unfortunately, I
Grab
don't
the
believe they're
maker.
going to pick up the Rainmaker here. Lion! Oh my goodness, that was 1 frame off.
Yeah, he tried sneaking out there. But well done, Flying Daggers.
Hamlet played watching that Rainmaker.
I think
I'm
I'm surprised that the animation didn't cost the overtime, because it looked like he picked it up, but yeah, I think it was just a moment too late, and that's a victory for FD.
Again, Flying Daggers are just a very dominant force in this tournament so far. So we're going to have to see, does the competition have an answer? We're going to have to see. That is the good question I would like to ask.
I think that's the question of the tourney right now. Yeah, does anybody have an answer for this comp? And even when it comes to the maps and game modes, comps are sort of one thing. But when you look at the maps and the actual game modes, that often determines the actual plays themselves that get made. So looking forward to what we're coming up with next. But good job, both teams. What the fuzz? You guys fought it out. Flying Daggers, congratulations on the victory.
Also it. Well, this is a bit awkward. Well, me and Straw Hat did not read the schedule right. That was the finals, and Flying Daggers have come out on top. And, well,
Congratulations! Woo!
I mean,
Everybody
given their
clap.
performance, being a winner is not surprising. Good games to everyone, though. That was an absolutely phenomenal set, and
Yeah.
it was a really fun, series of games to watch. I think you can agree with that.
Yeah, I really love watching those matches. I think some of the MVPs, the decavitators, great stuff, making it look really cool to swing a sword sideways. And the reef sliders during those Splat Zones matches, the back and forth. Oh, it made it such a nail biter. And I'm looking forward to seeing these teams again. Once
In the
again,
future, if they choose to do so.
huge congratulations to Flying Daggers. They've been putting in the work. You can tell, coming up with a composition that they like, And then shout out to all the other teams, What the Fuzz, Too Late, we got 21 Jellies, Hammerhead, Sharks, Dead Rat Radio. Don't forget the Merry Meowsketeers, of course, and Trout Sandwich. And all the other players. We hope you guys enjoy these kind of tournaments. We definitely do. And we love seeing everybody in chat. Everybody over on Twitch and YouTube. Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate all your support.
Yeah.
And Kieran, if I can ask, where can we find a little bit more about you in the online space?
Well, I think we have some. Well, before we self promo, I think we do have a little bit of an announcement from one of the head staff. Please, Fisk, I do believe is already present, so please do take it away.
Hello there. Congratulations to Flying Daggers for winning the showcase and being Season 1 Valedictorians. With Season 1 being officially over now, that also means that signups for Season 2 are now open. So, if you want to have the same experience that all of these teams today had, where you want to join competitive Splatoon and you don't really know how to, then sign up to Stronghold Beginners Academy now. You can do so at platoonstronghold.com/academy. And we will we will draft teams for you if you make one, that is, because we unfortunately cannot make teams for everyone. There is some capability to how big our staff is and what we can do with that. But if you make a team, we will do managing for you. We will put you in connection with a coach. You won't have to worry about scheduling. And at the end, you can send it off like all these teams today have in the showcase tournament for next season.
Okay, well, that's great. And I know there's a lot of other stuff in the Splatoon Stronghold Discord. So if you guys haven't joined the Discord, pretty much everybody that you've seen here today spends time there in the Discord. So if you want to come and chat with us and chat with other people, kind of like what Fisk was saying, go and check out the socials of the Splatoon Stronghold. It's a great community so far that's just continuing to grow as we march forward. So thanks for that, Fisk.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And as for us, well, Snug, thanks again for being such a good chap. Appreciate you and all your energy out there. It was a lot of fun. So why don't you tell everybody where we can find you?
Well, I don't really use many of my video sharing and streaming services for the moment. But for the moment, you guys can find me on Twitter with the exact same tag as you would as my current name, which is @SnugKieran. If you get it wrong, don't worry, it's Gaelic. So my name should be somewhere within the VOD. So if you want to just copy paste that into the search bar, you should find me. But where can people find you, Straw Hat? That's the better question.
Oh, well, you can find me either on Twitch or on YouTube, Straw Hat Dancing. We're out there in the Salmon Run Discords, hosting rooms for people to play Salmon Run matches and just get together with people who can help you not lose all the flipping time. So look out for Pirate Radio. And thanks Splatoon Stronghold for having us. It's been a lot of fun. And we will catch you on the flip side.
Yes, indeed. Thank you from everyone at the from everyone. I think I could speak for everyone at least. From everyone at the Stronghold team. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye bye.
Peace.